All right, we are back to what's the name of this show? There Will Be Bourbon
There
with
will be bourbon.
There Will Be Celsius drinker, Mr. Javier Mackey. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, it's nice to
How
have you
about you?
back. You are a veteran of the show. It's been a while. I think the last time you were on, you were with Joe, who is now the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. So good
Yeah.
things happen when you come on the show. So welcome back.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, man. It's good to it's always good to be on. Good to talk to you.
Hey, you got a nice little setup going now.
Yeah. I started a podcast, but then
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How's that going?
so this is what happened. Donald Trump got elected and he
Uh-huh.
said, "Hey everybody, get back to work."
There you have it.
so
So that's it
so
for us. We got to wrap this up, Javi. We got to get back to work.
and so like and like that overnight. And then it didn't help that uh, he gave that buyout to a bunch of
Yes.
government employees.
PRP. Yeah.
And so the client, my customer, he was like, we were in Alaska actually, dude, because I've been on the road since January.
Yeah.
So in February, we were in Alaska. And he looks at me. He's like, this is my last trip. I'm taking the drip. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
And he bounced. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so um, then a bunch of other people bounced. And, uh, and so, I get a new client this week. Next week, I got another client. Next week, I got a new client. And it's just, I've been bouncing around. I have a job because the government had already, signed my contract
Yeah.
for, you know, at least until the next year. And I'm sitting there like, and every client has a different approach to
Right.
how they want to handle the acquisition of a army's trading aids and simulations,
hmm
and none of them want me to go to bases and get feedback from the soldiers, because when I do that, they discover that this equipment that they're providing the army sucks.
Isn't it funny how that works?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's bulky.
This
It's
is-
bulky. It's some of it's 15 to 20 years old, and they haven't made any
Yeah.
changes.
Can you say what it is or no?
Uh, yeah. So I work with the soldier monitoring system. Most
Okay.
soldiers, yeah.
hmm
If or any other program I help with the development of is the home station instrumentation training system hits.
Hits.
So yeah. So
Okay.
if you've gone to a CTC combat training center like the JRTC or the National Training Center, or one of the joint exercises. Uh, I work with the Army in developing tracking systems that gather information on those exercises and provide after action reports
hmm
for the OCs, or
Yeah.
observer controllers, to
Uh-huh.
provide information to the uh, to the to the platoons at the lower echelons, and as well as feedback to the leadership, the organizational leadership at top. So,
Did you guys do C
and
sticks at all?
no, no,
No. Okay.
no. But we're the training exercises. We don't support the training exercises. We just provide the instrumentation for the
Right.
training exercises. So,
Okay.
and then four is the soldier monitoring system. That's basically a GPS tracker that the soldiers wear, and if they get hurt, they hit a SOS button, and the cadre can flex to their location.
Right. Okay.
If this, and it's always, I mean, this year, man, like we've seen an uptick in soldiers getting hurt, either heat injuries, spider bites, you name it.
Yeah.
And the so I think last year we had about 100 evacuations, and this year we're looking at, damn, we're close to 300. So
Is
one
that
of
army
those,
wide or is that joint?
that's just with the sites that are using it
Okay.
currently.
Gotcha.
So, and it's an expensive
300.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300 sounds like a small number when you're
No, it's a
talking
lot, I
about
think.
that's a lot of injuries, you
Yeah.
know. Um, but that's out of say 115,000 soldiers trained
Yeah. Yeah.
since January. So
Right.
that's just this year alone.
Right.
So but if you multiply that, so if you think about it this way, each of us get a SGLI, right?
Right.
Most of us sign up for the 400,000. You know, one, saving the life of one of those soldiers saves a lot of money at the end of the
Mhm.
day. So if 300 people this year died,
Yeah.
multiply that by
Wow.
140,000. If they have kids, let's go ahead and bump on to the survivor benefits.
Yeah.
You're looking at that's a savings of a huge multi-million dollar
Oh yeah,
buyout
you're in billions
or
there. Yeah.
yeah. So 300, that's just 300 people.
Right.
So
Yeah. Have
it,
you
it pay,
seen is the whole like within the now the DOW, not the DOD anymore, within the DOW, like the kind of the removal of the acquisition red tape, has that helped you at all? Do you foresee that helping, or is it still going to be kind of blocked by whoever's implementing?
well, the red tape is multi-layered.
Right.
So um, right now we're in a transition period where they're doing some reorganizations, and so they are saying, uh, at the proponent training proponent office up in Eustis, they're saying it's going to be more streamlined. They're going to reduce the amount of program executive offices, and they're
Mhm.
doing some rebranding on that. So we currently have 12 program executive offices. That's going to be reduced down to 9.
Okay.
And it's not like they're getting rid of anything. They're just streamlining,
Yeah.
like um, uh, like like capabilities,
Right.
similar capabilities.
Yep.
So there's really no loss in jobs or anything like that. However, there's going to be some doing away, some moving around on the who does what. Like, hey, are you making mills, or who's making uniforms, stuff like that. Um, but as far as the red tape, that's the biggest hurdle, because there's always, like, currently this last year I started giving all the installations that I provide services for, um, if they want additional like equipment, or they want to request a training aid or device, gave them the steps. What's happening is one of the steps is saying, you don't need it. And
Yeah.
that step is essential to right before it goes to the proponent office.
Right.
And right now it just has to do with money, and there's been a lot of cuts in that arena. So it's the red tape. I don't know, man. I really don't know where that's going to be in the future, but they're what we've been told, it's going to be a little more streamlined. So
That well, good. What's good? Let's
I,
what's good. It's good to,
but
but you got
what's
to see
crazy,
if it happens.
yeah, but what's crazy is it's not so much the streamlining from one agency to another. It's the streamlining within the organization itself, because
Right.
now you have to get, how it is, man. uh Working up at a S1, somebody says, hey, you want to staff a document, right? Now it has to go through, before it leaves the company, it has to go through the XO,
Yeah, the whole workflow.
the whole workflow, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets to the battalion, and it gets to the S3 shop, and you know, there's a misspelled word, right? So,
Yeah.
so it gets sent back down, right? And then it starts over again. And
Instead, and I always hated like instead of just doing the correction, you know,
Hmm.
in anything. It doesn't have to be even just that example, but just like taking it back to your world, right? Just taking it to
Yeah.
acquisition. Like, you know what the correction is. Inform the place of origin that, hey, we're making this correction because of X and
Right.
move on. But no,
Yeah.
like you said,
Yeah.
no, we got to send it all the way back down to the
Yeah.
lowest level. And it was
Yeah.
probably a Friday at 1650. So no one's there to open it until Monday. And it's just like, what are we doing?
You know, and it's funny because I do all my meetings on between Tuesday and Thursday, right?
Okay.
And somebody asked me, like, why don't we do it Mondays, have some of our meetings on Mondays or Fridays? And I go, dude, really? Are you serious?
Nothing gets
Nothing
done
gets
on a
done.
Friday.
Nothing gets done on a Friday, and you're catching up on all the BS on Monday.
Yep.
So let's do it Tuesday through Thursday. Call it a
100%.
3-day work week, and move on.
100%. I did forget to mention that. So, usually I say this is fueled by America's native spirit, which is bourbon, but tonight or today or whatever it is, wherever you are listening to this, I'm actually not drinking just bourbon. It's going to be an old fashioned. And because this is something I wanted to talk to since you and I both have daughters, all of this that I have in here was provided to me by my daughter when she came up to visit me. It was a late Father's Day present. So I got new glasses, new ice molds, new bitters, new bourbon, new cherry, all the good stuff. So old
Nice.
fashioned made, courtesy of my child. And then if I need something else a little later, which I may, I'll just reach behind the bar and grab something. So,
Yeah.
so that's what I got, and that's what's fueling me.
Well,
All right, Javi.
what's fueling me is I got Celsius, Live Fit,
Yes, get out there
sparkling
and
mint.
please buy stock in Celsius right now. All right. You won't be
This is not.
disappointed.
We're not being sponsored by
Not yet.
Celsius,
Celsius, what up?
but this mango lemonade is on point.
Yeah, I'll have to mention that to my daughter because she does like Celsius. And I did mention that she loves mango, which I am not a fan of, but to all the mango lovers out there, mango lemonade Celsius, bump that stock up. What's
Oh
up?
yeah, yeah, man. It burns. It says it burns body
That's
fat,
a
but
surprise.
I haven't seen that yet.
See, that's the thing. Like, I think you don't even have, you can just say whatever. It's like you can just, how we on the online, it's like you can just do things in America. Like
Oh yeah,
with
oh yeah,
beverages, you can just say things.
oh yeah.
That's
I'm
just-
I'm not even sure I'm taking in mango,
Oh
let
yeah, who
alone
knows?
lemonade.
Who knows? Who knows what's in there? Was it Celsius that just had the recent recall because they accidentally mixed up like vodka?
Oh
I think it
no,
was
that
Celsius, wasn't it?
was it Celsius?
I think it was. It may have been that flavor, to be honest. You might
Yeah.
be getting hammered right now. Who knows? I
I only
just
wish,
thought it was
man.
Celsius, but it was an energy drink that I guess they mixed up bottling and there was vodka in it. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Well, I definitely need to get that batch.
All right, let's get to the serious stuff first, and then we can digress back into our ramblings.
Yeah,
So big elephant in the room, right? Assassination of Charlie Kirk. Utah Valley University campus.
yeah.
And
My
that's where
daughter's a student there.
your daughter is a student there. Um, Now I know we were all kind of chatting on this in one of the chats, kind of real time as it was going on. And then like it was I don't want to say it was odd, but it was just like reading what you were saying. I was just like so caught up in between, holy shit, this is really happening to this dude. And like, damn, Javi's really like trying to figure out what's going on with his daughter. Like it was so, we were like overlapping sectors of people being like pissed off about what they just seen because not only the thousands of people who were there in attendance watched that happen, you know, probably hundreds of millions at this point across the planet. But your daughter was on her way there, wasn't she?
So she actually went to. She chose to go. She had to go to class because she had a test.
Okay.
So she went to class, but she wanted to go,
Right.
and so I'm walking. I'm back at the office, and I'm walking out, and my wife says, "Hey, your daughter." Like, so I have two daughters. One daughter is a firefighter.
Yep.
You
It's pretty cool.
and the other is she's a student, a married student in Utah. So my wife, the text goes, "Hey, your daughter is at a active." No, yeah, she says your daughter is currently at a active shooter. So
Yeah.
in my head, I'm thinking firefighter. right?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Okay. That makes
you
sense.
know, so
Responding, doing.
yeah, she's responding
Right.
to an active shooter. I'm like, all right, I can't wait to hear the stories from her on this. You know, I'm kind of
Yeah.
and and then the next text about 5 minutes later, because I'm not really, you know, again, I'm not really, you know, thinking too much about it. My wife sends another text that says Charlie Kirk has been shot. So, hmm. I'm not piecing the two together, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because he has a, you know, he has a variety of different events that he hosts. He could have been at
Yeah.
home. I'm thinking that he's at home chilling with his
Yeah.
family.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Same. I don't think anybody was really, at least us, we weren't really like, oh, look, he was on a campus. I had no idea.
right, right, right. And so the next thing you know, man, um, I'm getting, you know, it's not really setting in, you know, that he's been shot. I'm like, all right, he'll be fine. You know,
Yeah.
nobody's
Same. I
saying
think
he's
we all,
dead.
yeah. It's like, okay, he got shot. But no one said anything of like where, how. And then I think we started seeing it before we ever had any.
Right.
Then it was kind of like if you of all people would know, like you saw
Hmm.
that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad.
But so I'm walking to my truck. At this point, I'm out of the building. I'm walking to my truck, and I I don't know how it happened. Oh, she says, "Hey, call your oldest,"
Okay.
and you know the shooting happened, and she's heading to her car right now. So now this is different. This is the whole situation kind of changes for me because of the
Mhm.
distance.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Can't do shit.
because yeah, so you just imagine your daughter's,
Yep.
you know, back wherever she's at, right? And you get a phone call,
Hmm.
you know, so yeah, so now, you know, the next thing, so I don't respond to my wife. I call my daughter and she's like on the road. She's made it back to her car. She's safe. And now she gets in the fender bender. So I'm like, all right.
Oh shit, really? Damn.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't know that. She all right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It did no damage to either car.
Okay.
So it's a minor fender bender and she heads home. And then she's just kind of shooken up after that. And
Yeah.
she's
Imagine.
called every other day.
Yeah.
She was already going to counseling, uh, but it just this right here kind of like she says she's going to be going to counseling for a minute.
Yeah.
But so we're in this chat, right? And I send the chat. I'm still in the parking lot, and I send the text to you guys. I'm still processing everything, and you know the first, you know, I guess like the first couple of messages I sent out was like kind of like I'm still trying to figure things out,
Hmm.
and by the time, just long story short, by the time I got home, I was pissed that my daughter was in that situation, but grateful that she wasn't there to witness it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then more pissed that by this point I found out that Charlie Kirk is dead
Hmm.
or at least been shot, and the videos have started circulating.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to talk to somebody, right? And I know I can talk to any of you guys.
Yep.
And since I got Jimmy on speed dial, you know,
Jimmy's the go-to. He's go-to for everyone. That's good.
well, like honestly, he's like the guy that,
He put it all together. Yeah.
yeah. Well, not just that. I think he calls everybody in our little group trap at
Yeah.
some point. You
Yeah.
know,
That's true. Yeah.
so um, I and because there's certain group chats that I'm in. There's only two. Sorry, I'm in. I'm only into the one that we were in together, and then another one with my SF team.
Hmm.
And if I know if I get on there,
Let's be a
you
little
know,
different.
it's going to be a little bit different
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're going to be like throwing on kit and walking out the door type. At least our chat group is a little more grounded, right? We're going to be
Yeah, it
like,
can be.
yeah.
There's some characters.
Well, there's one guy in our
Yeah,
chat
he's
group.
ready.
If he was in our on
Other
my
one is ready.
ODA one,
Yeah.
dude, he would have been like he would have been jumping out of an airplane up, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah,
and landing in a parachute in my backyard right now. So,
100%. So glad he's on our side.
dude, yeah, yeah. I think we're gonna get to talking about him kind of later,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, man. I got home, sat in my driveway talking to Jimmy, and he was like, "Hey, man, just say a prayer together." And I just broke down, dude. I broke down like I started crying. Like I haven't sobbed that hard since Rob Miller died, you know. And
Damn. Yeah. Shit.
like I broke it, like really broke down, and I'm
Was
holding
it,
it back
was
right
it
now
the
too.
was it just the helplessness of being so far away or
Yeah, so being so far away from my daughter,
yeah.
you know, and I wanted to hug her and I wanted to be next to her, and I wanted to be there to comfort her, and I just, you know, you're kind of powerless, you know.
Yeah,
So
100%.
so that was rough, and then I just walked in the house and gave my wife a big hug, and she's, you know, she's in tears because I just turned her on to Charlie Kirk maybe like a year ago.
I think we're all
Um,
kind of late to the party with him because I think
I
we maybe not you, but myself, some others, like I think
yeah
it was because I'll be honest, like I'll say it here is like the reason I discounted him very much so more than I should have was because it was ignorance to his age. Like I took the fact that like he started his path of what he did from like 18, 20 years old,
yeah
21, right? And
yeah
it's like I always took that like maybe like I discounted it because it's like, well, what were you doing to even formulate these opinions, to gather this stuff, to learn this stuff? And then going back now, like I think one of our buddies, Tap, he said, you started seeing these things just in the feeds over and over. It wasn't clips anymore. It was like the entire 10 to 15-minute conversations he would have with individuals. And everything we were told about this man was wrong.
yeah
Like everything.
yeah
This dude would sit here and have these conversations like you and I were having with everyone of every background, and you never saw that. You saw something snipped or clipped to show one point of view or the other, and to kind of take away the fact that there was an actual conversation going on. And I
right right.
discounted that, and that's on me. And I'm glad like I've learned a lot more lately because of that. But I wish it was sooner.
Well, I got him mixed up with the "Prove Me Wrong" guy, and
That
like
meme.
yeah, that meme,
Yeah, yeah.
and I thought those two were the same, and then I would catch a clip here and there. Within the last, see, I was listening to one of your prior episodes, and you had um
So you're the
the
one. Nice.
The Catholic priest,
Oh yeah,
um
Demon, the Father Beeman.
yeah yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and you were going through your catechism, and it was roughly during that time period I started listening to Charlie Kirk a little bit more.
Okay. Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I started listening to him all the time, and it became almost an obsession that, you know, when I on my bike rides, I usually listen to, you know, one of our,
Mhm.
one of the podcasts that I have, or listen to one of the audiobooks I have downloaded, and I
So let
started
me ask you
listening.
this real quick. So the
Yeah,
biggest thing people try to demonize him with is they say he's a racist. Do you think he's a racist?
no, absolutely not, 100%.
Wild. That's weird because
No,
apparently you just don't know any better, Javi.
yeah, no, it's so funny because I, I I think I'm not an enigma. I'm not
No, you're
a
not. I think you're a normal American.
yeah.
That's what I think. Like, never once have I thought of Javi other than he's just some normal American dude who served his country admirably, and I wish there's more dudes like him.
Well,
It's pretty
the thing
simple.
is, there's so many average American, like just normal American dudes out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and it gets clouded. It's just a different flavor, right? You
Yep.
know, it's like it's like the Snickers with the peanuts and the Snickers with the almonds. You know,
Okay.
now we're just waiting for the Snickers with the walnuts. You know, so it's
I'll take cashews. I got a big old bag over there.
oh
Bring
yeah,
them over here. I
I'm
love
I
the
like
Costco cashews, 3 pound
when
bag. What's
when
up?
it comes yeah when it comes to nuts, I'm a cashew and a
See?
Pistachio.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
See? Well, I knew you'd be
So
pistachio. You're a California guy originally. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. They grew up right in my backyard,
there
man.
you go. Yeah.
That and almonds. But no, so Charlie Kirk. So this last, so I was listening to one of your podcasts with he was a warrant officer in
Sam
the
Shoemate,
what's his Twitter handle?
Samasaur.
No, no, no. He was a he had a band for Minnesota.
Oh,
Um,
but
I can't think of his
Viking
name.
Rob.
Viking Rob, right?
Yeah.
So I was listening to Viking Rob's podcast, and prior to that, I was listening to a Charlie Kirk little clip off of YouTube, and something in my brain between that Charlie Kirk clipped and Viking Rob's interview with you on your podcast was I said to myself, I don't want to die and my last words were a lie.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I didn't want the last words that come out my mouth to be a lie. And so
Hmm.
that's forcing me to always be honest with myself, you know?
Damn.
Um, and, cause, and because I guess there's a combination of, as you see Charlie Kirk's career progress, I look at it now. They're like he knew he was approaching the finish line
Really?
because yeah, because I got to reading some, got to reading some of the New Testament a couple of days ago, and I was thinking of Paul,
Yeah, I've seen that recently
Apostle Paul,
being, yeah, he's very
and then
evangelical.
Father or
Cardinal
Cardinal,
Dol
what's his
Cardinal Dolan.
Dolan.
Hmm.
He said, oh, he was just like us both. We never
Hmm.
heard of this guy until recently, and it was like, oh my goodness, this guy is awesome. And
Hmm.
then he mentioned, and then right after I came to this conclusion, I didn't like hear somebody else say it. I was like, man, this guy was like Paul. He was speaking,
To
speaking
everybody.
the truth. Yeah,
To everybody. Just going everywhere and speak to anyone who's willing to pick up the mic and talk to him.
and that's how you know things are true because regardless of where you're at on a religious spectrum,
Hmm.
when you have to shoot somebody or kill somebody because they're speaking the truth,
Yep.
then you just killed you just didn't kill the truth. You didn't you just killed the
You made it.
messenger.
You made the truth louder.
Yes.
That's what I love. Like
Yeah.
that dude's made it louder. Like look at the reaction. Before we get into the negative reaction, but look at the positive reaction that's come from that. Like, 'cause from what I
Yeah.
said, I think I said it in a different chat, but I said, and I think Jimmy said he felt the same way. Like, 'cause we already laid out like how late I was to the party with it. But, knowing who the guy was, knowing at least he was on the side of things that I believe in. I took it very, very personal. Like when I first the first thing I saw when someone said he was shot, I was like, just like you, thinking, okay, he was shot. What arm? What? Then
Right.
I saw the video, and then like the instant reaction to that, like that, I wasn't sad. I wasn't like I was infuriated. Like I felt like it was someone in my family. Like I
Yeah.
felt like and Jimmy was saying this kind of the similar thing. It's like I don't know what I even said. I was like, I don't know why I'm taking this so hard, but this has really, really, really pissed me off. Because this is the guy you guys kill?
Yeah.
You killed the
Yeah.
nice guy.
Yeah. And you
Like,
just don't realize a metric f ton of dudes who are willing to they've already sworn the oath and
yeah,
they're just waiting for the call, you
yeah.
know. And I think what it is we've become complacent in allowing others to speak our truths for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
We've
100% agree with that.
and I felt guilty because of that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you noticed some of my posts on X have been more, let's say, more on the family. Like,
Hmm.
hey, we need to strengthen our family.
Hmm.
We need to strengthen because, and the reason my thoughts are strengthen the family. Society will benefit from it. Therefore, our nation will benefit from it.
Which is
That's
all
what.
what Kirk was saying, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like I was
and
watching your
we
interactions yesterday with you just trying to talk to someone, and all he wanted to do was tell you how much of a fucking idiot you are, and like you're like the worst things in the world because you don't think like him. And it's like, and you're just like literally asking him, "Wait a minute, explain to me." And it's like, what's the point of engaging? There's no point.
right,
Yeah.
right. You see how that actually kind of played out because, and I want to go. Let's put a pin in that, but
Okay.
because there's a there's a I think there's a more nefarious thing going on the X app
Hmm.
than
Okay.
we, at least in my head.
You may
Uh,
be right.
yeah,
I mean,
and
at the end of the day, it's people coding things to make you see what you see or whatever it is that you're reacting to. They're just feeding you more of it to make you keep going.
well, here's the thing, man. During some of these interactions, especially with the guys who claim to be so we have two actors that I usually come across, right? You
Hmm.
have the one actor, the victim actor.
Yep.
Uh, I'm the victim, therefore we must strike back. I'm tired of this stuff. Wham, 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 wham. Then you have the agitator, and these guys are like drive by. You know, these are guys who carry out the drive by shooting. Right? They come
Pray
by,
and pray,
they
spray and pray. Yep.
they jump into your feed, and they throw out a racial innuendo,
Yep.
and they and then they stick around for the fight for a little bit, and then they break contact. Then you have the feeders, right? You know, no engagement at all. They're not being engaged by anybody, and they randomly throw some bait out there, saying, you know, you know, throwing out hard R's here and there, or throwing out a master race
Mhm.
thing,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, and just to get engagements, right? One is to one is to get attention. They're all to get attention, but one is, hey, they all have different modes of how they're getting attention, right? One is, hey, I'm a victim, you know, who's with me. So they're kind of like the rally point, you know, and then you got the they wait for people to join in, and people who oppose. You got your drive by, the guys who drive by,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna have the guy, you know, the guy, and then the last guy, he kind of like starts posting, but he posts knowing that the algorithm is pointing in your direction. It's kind of, I hope somebody listening to this podcast kind of grasp what I'm saying. But
Yeah, no, I
anyway,
get it.
in my interactions, I noticed that these all start at a specific time during the day, and they
Mhm.
kind of peter off. They kind of peter off, and then when you engage them, like the engagement is really like, it starts off like you're talking to a real person, but as the engagement goes a little bit further, you start asking questions. You almost got these people attention. Like you feel like you're getting their attention, and one or two things are going to happen. I think a lot of people are arguing with AI,
Okay.
and then AI is
The
tied
AI gets, yeah, they get stuck because the
tied
AI doesn't know what to do next. Yeah.
right. So like yesterday's engagement, when I started asking that dude's questions, it feels like I broke his brain.
Yeah.
Because he went right back to the beginning,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I did a Windows 7 reset, you know. And he started back in the beginning, and then but then the second guy came in. This other dude comes into the chat, you know, and he throws this really racial meme out there. And I was like, hey man, you know, you had two people here having a civil discussion, you know, why did you have to interrupt this? And then he started engaging me at my level. The
Hmm.
tone drastically shift. So I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I wonder if this guy. So I wonder if this guy is like an AI bot.
Hmm.
Because then I started looking at his followers, and a lot of the followers that follow him follow both of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Interesting.
so I started, and so uh, I kind of stopped the engagement with him after I did a long spiel, and I was like, hey man, these are where my values are, period, hard stop. And he was like, yeah, I feel the same, and I left it at that. So this morning he sent out a text, look, like he sent another text or another post showing the average IQ between black and white, and it was like 80, 90, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I've heard this before, but I'm not going to bite. I want to see what happens. And so
Right.
this morning he sends another post. It was like, hello. I'm like, I'm totally ghosted him
Yeah.
because I can see he wants the
It's just
engagement,
bait. Yeah, it's just bait.
but it's bait. So I really would like to stand up a task force to really
Hmm.
like figure out
Okay.
like just get a group of guys, and then we get together and figure out how to like, so if you go on, like, if you got a Mac, I
Yeah.
didn't realize this. If you hit like right click on a web page and you hit inspection, you can see where the IP addresses are.
What if they're using VPNs though?
Yeah. So but there's I we can, if we can find someone smart enough to know how to like run a
Yeah.
trace on VPNs, maybe we can,
We got one of those people in the circle.
okay, yeah. I
For sure.
so I would like to put together like a task force and be like, hey, let's engage these people, be civil, whatever, and then like have a phrase that we can throw into a post where when you read it, let's say when you read it, you say, all right, this is a target. Let's look into this guy, look into this poster and see where they're doing it from. Because my suspicions are they're twofold. They're AI or they're foreign actors, right?
Hmm.
Feeding the AI what to say on these apps. And I would be
So
curious to
the whole
be,
bot farm thing is what you think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because if you log on to X, so well, how would we do that? Well, if you log on to X through your web browser, you should be able to do an inspection um, back pop up that shows that same type of information. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a computer guy, man.
No, I'm
I'm
not
about
either.
as
It's funny though. I just opened up a web page and went to a site because I'm on a Mac, and so I right clicked on the link, and there's that tab services that pops up, and as soon as I go over, it says convert text to simplified Chinese or to traditional Chinese. Like that's the default.
yeah, yeah. But there's like I think if you right click on the page, there should be like a. I don't want to mess up my computer because we're doing
Yeah,
this
no, that's what
podcast
I'm
right now.
planning on happening right now as I keep messing
Yeah,
with it. So
but if you like
I'm gonna close it.
yeah, you right click on a page, and there should be like an inspection selection. And I haven't done it in a while, or maybe it's like up in the toolbar or something. But
Yeah, I'm looking.
the bottom half of your screen uh, will move up, and then you'll see a bunch of line of code. And if you scroll down a
Um,
little bit, you're able to see
Are you a
the
coder now? Are you a coder, Javi?
no,
No.
no, dude.
Learn the
I'm a
code, Javi. No.
bro. I'm an ideal guy. I'm the good idea fairy.
Mhm.
You know.
No, I'm with you. I am going to start messing with some stuff just because of AI, just for some things that I need to do from a like personal, professional standpoint. But yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff's interesting. But no, I have no desire to be a coder. I'll leave that to Gen Z to go take over. Especially now. Have you seen this whole H-1B visa program being
Yeah. Yeah.
basically
So
buried?
yeah, dude. I was just on. I don't know much about it,
Oh, I just read a
but
lot about it. I'll see if I can help you.
from what I do understand is like these H1B visa holders will come to the states, get the visa, and then go back to their country, right?
No. They can't now. So as of literally midnight tonight, 100K per entry or re-entry every year annually from now on. And so everyone's like, oh, well, they're just going to go to Canada or whatever and work remote. That sounds like a win because now they're not here.
Right. Right.
What up, dog? Let's go.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
Well, I mean, that affects like a whole country. Like
Well, yeah,
a
there
lot of
was a
the
breakdown I saw just now. 73% are from India, 12 and a half from China, and then the rest is just pick a country. They
yeah.
don't have the skilled numbers, right?
So uh, here's some. I don't know how true this is, but back in the day, kings really controlled what technology left their kingdom.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So in a lot of cases, they were given artisans and construct. People, artists and
Engineers.
scientists
Yeah.
weren't allowed to
Agriculture.
leave.
Yeah.
They had to have special permission to leave the country, and I think that's where the passport was. You had to have like
Ah, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That's the
you had to
origin of the
have.
passport, huh? Okay.
Yeah, and so I could be wrong on that, but
It sounds good. We don't
the,
need to worry about fact checking.
right,
Whatever
but
we say here is true.
right, but there was some form of passport
Yeah.
allowing uh, for craftsmen to leave the
Ah,
borders.
to go
Uh,
teach, basically, huh?
yeah, because they didn't want, like, for instance, I don't know if you ever seen that Netflix on Genghis Kong.
Mm-mm, I
I
have
forget what
not.
it's called. There was a episode where Marco Polo, as he was
Okay.
traveling Silk Road, he some somebody in his party was smuggling silkworms and a
Really?
walking stick, and
Oh,
the Khan executed him. Because they didn't want
okay.
silk leaving the boundaries of his realm.
Right.
So what Trump is so my point is what Trump is doing is something that has always been done. It's we just haven't been it just haven't been in practice
Yeah, we just
because
haven't had a leader willing to do these things for a while, right? Like
right,
because we've been so focused on globalism as opposed to Americanism.
right. And so we're trying to keep in my mind, I'm thinking we're trying to keep some of this technology close hold until we can get a foothold in the market to be able to stimulate our economy from it.
Yeah, but
So
look what just happened with the DOW now. Like I keep saying that the DOW, the Dow. They just found like all these Chinese engineers like basically inside cloud services within the Department of War for our like national security programs.
oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, this
and
like we've and you know this just from what you do. You probably have dealt with a ton of engineers who are not Americans.
well, no, uh, according to here I am spitting out regulations.
Here we go.
There are laws with the place. I can't speak out the specific law and or DOW regulation that military anything that's touching the military has to be American owned,
Right.
American made,
Yep.
small business, minority, whatever, blah 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 blah
Yep.
blah. And so what's happening is these companies, like, say for instance, um, I'm going to make a fictional company that's been around. This is a fictional company that's been around since World War II, and
Okay.
it's Mackey Services, and
Oh yeah, I
Mackey
love
Ser
those guys. Those guys are
yeah,
great.
yeah. We've developed every weapon system, aircraft. We're
Oh
deep
yeah.
into military complex. We are the
Deep
military
into it.
industrial complex, right?
Yeah.
And
See the shirt on the wall back there. That's nice.
yeah, yeah. And and in my company, I see that I need talent.
Yep.
All right. So I go to Harvard. I'm going to the best universities to get engineers, to recruit engineers, you know, organizational managers, so forth and so on. And they happen to be on H-1B1 visas, right?
Yep.
H-1B visas. and like, hey, we'll help you get your citizenship, blah 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 blah. And that's what I think happens. But I don't run into those guys. I walk into I walk into some of these places, and they look like you and me, man.
Yeah.
Um, Young college students, because or they have just graduated college, and they're surrounded by a bunch of old dudes who have
Yeah.
been around for a while producing the same crappy product for my company to provide to the
Uh,
military.
yeah, no, these
And
issues are out in they're out west, man. Silicon Valley. Like if you would go visit what is Silicon Valley, and it's even spilled out. Like just go to San
yeah,
Jose now.
yeah.
San
No,
Jose
so
does not look like San Jose in certain areas.
I remember when
Built
there was a like San Francisco spill. Now let's see, San Francisco, Alameda, San Jose, they were all separated at one point.
right.
Like, gee,
Yeah.
now if you fly into Harvey Milk and you hop on the highway going into the San Joaquin Valley, it's one continuous big ass city.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know where one ends and when the other one begins.
No, like when I got out there in 2016, the massive amount of construction projects are all finished now. Like when I go back now, it's like all of that, the whole East Bay. Like it's
Yeah,
all been just it's just one massive housing,
yeah,
not
and it,
project. I mean, I don't want people have a negative connotation with projects, but like it was just one massive housing construction project that has now been completed and it is massive.
I'm not sure when the last time you've been to Cali, if you're there now, but
No, I
uh,
was out in what, May?
okay.
Yeah.
So, and I was just out there 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and at least, and this is my first time spending any uh, amount of longer than a few days in SoCal. So I was in the
Yep.
Long
Yep.
Beach, Anaheim area, and
Love
my
Anaheim.
yeah, my wife was saying that because she was there to do the Disney races, right?
Yep.
Um, she got her. I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife. She just did. She
What up,
completed.
Miss Mackey?
She completed the old gal completed the coast to coast 2 years in a row. So
Nice.
I'm happy for her, and she's getting ready to do the the next race that's coming up next month. I forget
She
what it's
doing
called.
marathons or half marathons?
Yeah,
She's doing
she's
full.
she's doing the whole challenge, man.
Oh
She
man.
she does the 5, 10,
Oh,
it's either
all of it.
5, 10, half, and full marathons. And
Jeez.
I did that one challenge. I did two challenges last year
Yeah, I
twice.
remember that. That was
That's
cool.
that sucked, man. That sucked.
Of course it does. Bro, we're not built for that anymore, all right? Those days,
Yeah,
like we're a little bigger in the world than
yeah,
most runners, okay?
yeah. But but Cali's cleaned up, man. Like, at least my wife was saying from last year and this year, uh, the area's cleaned up quite a bit. So, uh,
Well, San Francisco, as you know, the new mayor they elected,
right,
he's more in the middle, a little bit more moderate, a little more pro or like normalcy. Some of that's definitely cleaned up a bit. Now there's still like you can go around the wrong block and you just see the Walking Dead, but
right, right.
but they have cleaned up some of it for sure. They've
Yeah,
definitely made some inroads. And I mean again, they already showed they could do it, right?
right,
President of China
right.
comes and visit. Gavin Newsom cleans up San Francisco overnight. Looks like the most amazing, beautiful city, and then it's right back to The Walking Dead, like I said. But
Yeah,
no, I think normal, like, because you got to understand, people don't realize this, and I've said it multiple times on here, maybe even with you. Like most of California, or not most of it, but a lot of California, maybe even most of it, who knows, because they don't show up, are just right-leaning or middle of the road moderate people. They don't want this shit in their fucking cities any more than anyone does.
yeah, yeah.
But
Eh,
it's been
but
allowed to fester, and eventually, like I said, we're seeing it right now. You're seeing it with so much right now. And the response to the Kirk thing, going back to that, is that like
right,
pendulum only swings so far for so long before it comes back.
yeah.
And you
Well,
better be ready for it because it's coming.
yeah. Well, so the thing about California is it's a republic, right? The
All
Republic
right.
of
What
California.
part of
So
it?
they have.
Because you're. I'm trying to remember what part you're from.
So I was born and raised. I was born in the Bay Area, and
Right.
and then I was raised in Central Valley,
Central
Stockton.
Valley. That's right. So, yeah. Okay. Got it. All right.
Yeah,
Now I remember.
yeah, Stockton.
Yep.
Um,
Aaron
I,
Judge.
li- yep, I lived in I lived in northern Stockton. Went to school in Lodi. Uh,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
thank
Good
goodness.
wine. Good wine out
Oh
low.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You got the Tokay and Lodi flame grapes.
Mm,
Really popular in that
there we
area.
go. Look at that. Hobby
Uh,
dropping wine knowledge for those of you.
oh yeah, I worked the Gallo
Oh,
vineyards
nice.
down there in Modesto when I was young,
Oh, shit.
and
That's cool,
that
man.
was I spent a summer doing that, make some good money.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was hot. You know how
That
California
summer,
summers are,
especially in the valley, man. It's just 110
bro,
every day.
bro. And so we would work. We would normally work at night, like in the evening time,
Uh-huh.
when it cooled down, and work our lanes there. But yeah, so that area California is a beautiful state. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Number one in
and
the country, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah.
And plus, it's so
I
big,
don't know.
man. It's like the
I
entire East Coast all in one state.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. California is a dirty state. And what I mean by that is the aesthetics. It's just
Yeah.
Florida is when I come to Florida, everything is the 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 highways. You drive down the highways, no trash for the
Yeah.
most part.
No, you're right about
Yeah.
that part. But I will tell you,
Uh,
my problem with Florida is everything's a fucking strip mall and there's suburbs and no character to anything. It's just all
yeah,
cookie
yeah,
cutter.
yeah, yeah. When you get out of Orlando
Yeah.
to like you go to West Coast, yeah, dude, it's just like these big cookie cutter
Yeah. Right.
communities.
That, like,
There's
but
nothing.
that's the thing I love about California, because you're right about the highways. That's it's a really good point. What I love about California, and most people don't realize this, because most people think California, like I said this probably with you before, like growing up on the East Coast in Florida, like California, only thing I ever thought California was LA.
Yeah,
Until I became a Giants fan, I was like, oh, there's San Francisco. Still don't know anything because I never went to it. Like I never
yeah,
actually was anywhere in California until, I was an adult. And then living
yeah.
in Northern California, you have so like once you start going like up the coast,
Yeah.
towards
Reading and Yuba
all that. But
City.
then even if you go like the Gold Coast route, like you start going up to the
Yeah,
Sierra, like the foothills, you have all these small towns that are just
yeah,
beautiful, man. It's just old Americana small town, like Western frontiers type style, and it's so beautiful.
yeah. So
You
the
feel like you're
culture.
not even in California. You just feel like you're in America.
Yeah, there's different like the cultures are different. It's like California in itself is like 50 different countries.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really
You
good.
know,
That's a good analogy. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, it's
It's just so
literally
big, man.
yeah. If you go to like where I grew up in the San Joaquin Valley, like let's talk about the car culture in California. One
Yeah,
place in the USA where you can drive down a highway and see a freaking 1977
yeah.
Dodge Charger pimped out. Like, and when I say pimped out, I'm not talking about like slammed to the ground.
Mm-mm.
No, all its
Yep.
original components.
Yeah, Muscle Car Central, man. The
Vos,
originals.
yeah, Volkswagen, the Volkswagen Bugs,
Yeah.
microbuses,
Yeah.
Carmen Gias, Boxers.
Harmon Giaz. Yeah. That's why I
Uh,
tell my dad, like, he loved California because my dad was a New Jersey guy. He, like, grew up with muscle car era. He's a big Plymouth fan. Like, he always had his
yeah,
Road Runner. He loves car shows and on. And he can come out to California, he sees it again.
yeah. The sporting culture there is really big,
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice,
Yeah. I would say,
very diverse.
uh-huh.
You go up to like Del Oro,
Del
Oroville.
Oro. Del Oro was like, that was one of the schools I recruited from, man. Del Oro
Yeah,
High
man.
School. Their football
Those
team
are,
was legit.
dude. Those are some cornbread dudes, bro.
Yeah,
We,
Lincoln, Del Oro, yeah,
yeah,
all that, like that. But those areas are just because you're starting to get into the mountains a little bit, right? Like the
right, right, right.
right. But it's like all farming to an
Yeah,
extent. It's just. I'm trying to think. It's because I don't want to just like people to think farming like Midwest. It's not that,
no, 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 no.
but
It's
it's just normal people, a lot of cat, horses everywhere, like
yeah, yeah.
just normal American dude, like what we were just talking
Go,
about, right? There's a lot of normal Americans out
yeah.
there. That's
You
full
go
of
up
it.
to
I
Yeah, you
loved
go
Lincoln
to
and Rockland, and I lived in Rockland
yeah,
for like, but Del Oro, yeah, I remember Del Oro High School where I recruited
yeah.
from. Like, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like,
Yeah, you go up to
we
like
never knew
Humboldt
that stuff
County.
existed. Humboldt, yes,
Yeah,
all
Humboldt
the
County.
redwoods. You start getting out there, and it's
But
so beautiful, man.
and that's the thing about the U.S. That's the beauty of the U.S. Even in Florida, even
Hmm.
North Carolina, the cultures change. It ebbs and flows. Like in the Carolinas, if you're in the Low Country, and they're in the High Country, two different cultures,
Yep,
totally.
totally.
Um,
Appalachia,
even
man. That's where
yeah,
Appalachian starts. You don't want to
yeah.
mess with those people. But then the
Georgia,
cities are super fucking weird.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it gets even weirder when you get into the woods too. You get
It does. It's true.
it,
It's
it,
fair. Those people are living in a different, they're not really concerned with what you think.
no, no.
They're concerned with maintaining tradition that they've lived their entire lives and a little bit further from the grid for sure.
But yeah, but to kind of pivot back to where we were
Yeah,
talking
let's
about
let's let's
with
we're spiraling. I
Kirk.
love it. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're let's pivot back to the Kirk. We were talking about the positive impacts
Mhm.
of reliving his legacy or remembering his legacy.
Yep.
And before I go to the negative, I just want to say, like I said before, um, he got me really thinking about how I was living my life as a man, as a Christian,
Yeah.
as a patriot, a son of the United States of America, and it got me recommitting myself to being a Christian that is going to stand firm in his beliefs. I'm going to stand firm in my beliefs, and I'm going to do my best to be true in the things I say. And because like I said, I don't want to die today and the last words out of my mouth were
A lie.
a
Yeah.
ha- a lie or half
Mhm.
truth
Yeah.
or something that's misleading. And
Well,
then I'm gonna go ahead.
no, I was gonna say so. I don't know if you remember. So about a year and a half ago, I converted to Catholicism, right? And a lot
Yeah,
of it
yeah,
started with talking to Terry.
yep.
And he sent me a
But
bunch of
hey,
books. Oh,
I want to say, hey man, congratulations on that.
yeah, I
And I know
appreciate
that's
that,
a
man.
that's a huge step. And I know as you continue your journey uh, towards strengthening your convictions, that life is going to appear much different from you for you if it hasn't already
Oh
started
yeah.
already.
It's
You
the
know.
last. So I didn't get to make it into mass last week, but the week before when I was in there, he so there's Father DiMartino, who's mid 70s, New York Italian guy, like just the most base dude. Like you love him, right?
Right, right,
He's
right.
that dude. And fortunately, my parish here is just it's got two young guys, same way. Like the future of the Catholic Church is amazing. But this guy, he's just saying, like, look, the path to Jesus is narrow. There's only one way to walk it, and you're probably
Yeah,
not going to like it because I'm not here to tell you it's easy because it's not. And that's what people need to realize. Like, it's all good. I'm loving the positive reaction of like, hey, there's more people coming to Christ right now. Churches are filling up in that first
yeah,
weekend after. Let's see what it's like tomorrow, right?
yeah,
But um, look, and I'll tell a story. One of them is my cousin, younger cousin. She
yeah,
finally, for the first time, is saying, "Hey, I want to get to know Jesus, so I'm going to a church." And I asked her, "Well, what type of church is it?" "Oh, non-denominational." I'm like, "Not real."
yeah.
And she's just like, whatever. I'm like, because it's not. I'm just being honest.
Right, right,
It's just
right,
not.
right,
Like,
right.
Jesus is not to make people have a very wrong mis or conception of Jesus. Jesus Christ's life is not about making you feel good about yourself. It's not
No,
because it's not easy to do what this man asked. It
right.
sounds great. Like, oh, I can do that. No, can you? All right,
Yeah,
here's day one. Go live like Jesus wants you to live. And it's
yeah.
fucking hard. It's
Well,
absolutely hard.
let me
And it should
ask
be.
you let me ask you a personal question. When you were baptized, you took your first communion. Did
Well, I was
life get
baptized as a child.
well
I
when
was
you
raised a Lutheran in New Jersey, so that's where I was
when
baptized. So
when
I didn't get to baptize myself again.
oh the
So there's
Catholic
only
Church
one.
didn't
No,
baptize?
no, they
Okay,
recognize you have
okay,
to prove that you were baptized, which I was able to do, calling
okay.
to my church. But But good.
Okay. But you brought upon yourself this new faith. Did life get easier for you?
No.
And that's the
Well,
point. And,
okay.
and here's the point I want to drive home with that is that people feel that when they give their life to Christ, things are supposed to get better.
Nope.
No, because you've made that commitment, life gets a little bit harder. And
I agree. Yeah.
the
Hmm.
reason for that is because you've given up some of the things that you were used to doing, and
Yeah.
they become
Yes.
they become challenges now.
Yeah.
You know,
Like I go to
um,
mass every week. Like I never did that. Like I used to
yeah,
be, I made the, oh, well, now I got to time this around football. No, like I'm going
yeah.
and I love it. Yeah.
Your priorities
Yeah.
change.
It's like, it's no longer. And I just remember going through RCIA, like the whole year leading up to before converting. It's like, look, Sunday is supposed to be a very specific reason. You're not supposed to be doing work. You're not supposed to be doing physical stuff. You're not supposed to be doing anything. It's literally the day
Right.
of rest for a reason. Go to mass and go relax. That's it.
You're right.
But I used so used to like, well, Sunday, I'm going to cut the grass on Sunday. I'm going to go do some back. I'm going to catch up on some things. Like, no, that's these are very
Yeah.
basic things. Like, I'm not trying
Right.
to,
Right.
but this is the way Jesus wanted you to live, right? Like
Right.
Jesus, there, and like I said, going back to what Father DiMartino said, the path to Jesus is narrow, and nobody, not well, not nobody, very few are going to actually make it.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
it was easy, hey, the path wouldn't be narrow. It'd be this big giant fucking, hey, everyone just come on in. Everyone's going to heaven. No,
Yeah. And
it ain't.
that's
It
a big
ain't that.
problem with like mainstream Christianity. It's become a spectacle rather than
Yes, exactly. Yep.
um, a reverent day of remembrance and recommitting. Because every
Hmm.
time, I don't know about in the Catholic Church, for at least for the LDS faith, like we re we, we renew our promises every week. You
Hmm.
know, like that we're going to always remember the Lord and live our lives in accordance to His will as best we can.
Hmm.
The problem with it is you get some established families within a congregation. And this doesn't. I imagine this is the same no matter what church or denomination you go to. You may subscribe to, but you get these well-established families, and they think the way they live their lives is the gospel.
Yep.
You know,
Nope. The gospel is the apostles. It's very, very
yeah.
simple.
And so, uh, but back pivoting back to the Charlie Kirk thing, did
Well, let's
Nick?
do that. But let me
Yeah,
just say one thing real quick because
yeah, yeah,
you bring up an important point, and I know this gets lost with a lot of people when they not knowing what the Catholic Church is, and then the liturgy, however you say that word. It's so the Catholic calendar is over a 3-year cycle, right? And it's the schedule
right,
of how the apostles' readings are. Year one you have Matthew, year two you have Mark, and year three you have Luke. And these are what you read. You read all of their writings throughout
yeah,
that year for what they are. So like you're constantly going back to what you're saying. You're renewing your faith, but we're renewing it through the gospel every weekend,
right,
every
right,
Sunday. Like the gospel is what it is. Like there's no man version of it, no interpretation. Like this is the gospel. This is what it is. And then
right.
the priest gives the homily to support that. And that's it.
Yep.
That's it. And that's.
And it's funny too. Like while you're throughout your life, get an opportunity to go to Europe and see some of the churches.
Yeah, so
Um,
I haven't been to Italy since '05, and I didn't get to go to I went to Rome, but I did not get to do any of I didn't get to do the Vatican or St. Peter's. So I didn't get
yeah,
to do any of that, and I absolutely would love to because like look, the Catholic faith, the churches, like it was divine inspiration. Like that's all it was. Look to the heavens. That's why every time you
yeah,
go into a church, you look up. You're not looking at the
yeah,
ground. Like it's designed to make you
right,
look up. You're looking to the heavens, and it's just the Gothic one in Cologne, like that Gothic
yeah.
cathedral. Oh,
If
we
you go
don't do
to
stuff I mean, I don't know if
yeah,
you've been to the one in DC yet, like the
no, no, no.
Basilica. Oh, dude, that is
But
fucking beautiful. But that stuff it was all divine inspiration. Like, look at what we were doing 500 years ago.
yeah,
Look at it.
yeah,
It's amazing, man. And it's like we were living for Christ.
yeah.
And I think the
And
pendulum, like I said earlier, it's going to swing back, and I am 100% ready for it.
Yeah, it
Can't
ebbs and
wait.
flows, man. It
Yeah,
definitely
can't
ebbs
wait.
and flows. But yeah, we were in Europe last year. This time we were in actually this time last year we were in Norway, and we
Okay.
went to
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah. I remember
version
you went
of
there.
yeah, we went to their version of the Notre Dame.
Okay.
I forget the name of it. Beautiful, beautiful place, man. And but my original thought was if you go to there's a piece of church history that I think you would find very interesting. If you go to the Trinity College in Ireland, in
Okay.
Dublin, right there in Dublin,
Hmm.
they have the
St.
Book of
Patrick.
Kells. Yeah, they have the Book of Kells, and every day the Book of Kells is always open, and every day they turn a page of it.
Oh
And
wow.
the Book of Kells is basically a Latin version, very artistically done by you know monks centuries ago
Oh, the
of the
monks,
Bible.
the monk stories are incredible, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
of the Bible. Yeah, and they turn a page every day, and every day, and if you venture across the countryside there, go to the castles, and inside the castles, if you know your lineage, a lot of your lineage can get be traced back to Europe, whether it be Ireland, England, whatever. A lot of these old castles will have a book in there, and if you and in it will have every person that lived in that parish name listed in there. Just so happened, I forget where we're at. We were in somewhere in Ireland, and we found my my wife's maiden name in one of the books there. So um, it's kind of cool. It's a real cool thing. I always try to get people to go back and visit the places where they're from. I have yet to go to Africa. Maybe one day I'll visit the West Coast, but I don't have it in my plans right now. Just financially, I'm just not ready to do
yeah.
that type of travel. Um,
Can I give you
but
a quick
yeah,
story?
yeah, yeah,
So the Benedictine monks, you heard of them?
yep,
All right. You heard of Dom Perignon champagne?
yep.
You know where I'm going with this?
Nope.
All right. So Dom Perignon was actually a Benedictine monk.
Oh wow,
So yeah, he was named like the head cellarer. I think it was the
sommelier.
1680s. Yeah, the 1680s, and he's the one who experimented with champagne and invented it.
Oh wow,
Literally named after Dom Perignon. There's a statue of him and everything. Like he's they. So here, real quick, another real quick story about the monks, right? Like the
right.
Benedictine monks specifically, Saint Benedictine. Um, there's other evidence of this. So the monks were doing all kinds of crazy things with agriculture. Like they were getting donated all this land throughout, Europe and all, and it was always the worst type of land. Like it wasn't
Right.
fertile. It wasn't. So they had to like they
Figure
had to
stuff out.
figure out how to make it what it's become. And there's so much, written history about what this land looked like before and after. Um, and so there's evidence. I can't remember his name. I'll have to go back and get this for you. I'll text it to you. But there is evidence that the monks had something that would have brought about the Industrial Revolution 200 years prior to when it actually did take place,
Hmm.
would have been the 1600s.
Oh wow.
They were white because the technology was being stolen. Going back to what you were saying about kings, right?
Right, right,
Like they
right.
were refusing to let this stuff out. They were, taking this stuff. They were stealing it from the monks. Um, and I made that joke. Well, I made it to Terry. I didn't make it in the group chat, but I was like, if you go back and read about the monks, specifically the Benedictine monks, it shows what a group of dudes can do when they're focused and they don't have to deal with women.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
They've
Well, the
amazing stories,
I
agriculture, everything and through history of what like the Benedictine monks were able to, just monks in general, but the Benedictine ones are probably really well known. But the
yeah,
stuff they did, dude, is like from an agricultural perspective, unreal. Like
yeah,
if there
and
wasn't written a chord of it, you'd be like, you're lying. Like, no, this stuff happened.
yeah. I was. It was funny. Yesterday, I was talking at work with some of the guys, and I was like, "You ever noticed, throughout history, who held all the knowledge? It was the religious leaders, right?
Yeah.
Um, they had libraries, and those libraries are normally closed off to
The monks were
everyone.
transcribers.
Yeah, but they were also closing off the information
Mm-hmm.
to the population
Yep.
until they had got it dialed in, and they were sent out to go. In a lot of cases, they were sent out to go help the communities grow. Right. So you fast forward. So let's say that year is 300. The church is spreading. Um, Missionaries are going out spreading knowledge of Christ. Along with that, they're bringing also knowledge of making spirits, their cheeses,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah. All
uh,
that.
hus- husbandry. They're also learning, and then they're bringing, they're writing back uh, to their parishes. I'm not sure what the monks called their monasteries,
Yep.
and sending that information back, and it becomes a depository, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where we get libraries. Right, fast
Yep.
forward, libraries are now, you get the pilgrims move, you get your schisms.
Yeah.
Knowledge is no longer a sole possession of the church, but knowledge is now uh, distributed amongst the masses, and it furthers, technology continues to further. The populations are becoming a little more educated gradually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're
And
moving
they came
from a
up
little
with
more.
schools like
Yeah,
the
you come to schools.
universities. Like it's
Yeah.
yep.
And most of the universities were what? They were ran by the church,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and they were segregated, and and but only certain people were allowed there, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
still had people making shoes. You had cobblers, you had coopers, you had smiths,
Yep.
so forth and so on. But
Tanners,
once
all
they, yeah, but once they left Europe and migrated to the States, there was a little more freedom to do whatever they wanted with the
right.
goods they made.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And I think our founding fathers really, honed in on that opportunity to
Of course. Like you
to
said, no
to
oversight. Like what's
yeah,
the limit? There's no limits anymore.
right,
But it's fun to go back to what something you said, like how widespread that was, because there's evidence of going back to the agricultural stuff. Depending on what monastery you were in, and these could be spread across all of Europe, like they were all doing very similar things without any real connection to,
right,
something thousands of miles away. But they were all doing it because it was getting transferred. Like you said, the knowledge was being
right.
passed along, and everyone's doing very similar things, and it looked the same no matter where you went. And no one had a real good explanation of it other than this is what happens when you share knowledge.
Yeah, and then and the negative side of that, some of those places got conquered,
Yeah,
obviously
no, of
by
course. Yeah.
different cultures, but those cultures
Mhm.
also brought in, like, probably missing links to of knowledge that was later used to improve life in the places they conquered, right?
For sure,
So,
absolutely.
not to, throw some dimes at conquering people, but
It's human nature,
when
unfortunately. It's
right, right.
and it's brought
But
about, like you said, it's actually raised and elevated societies because
we
you just said that you've brought technology and other things to fill in the gaps,
Yeah. And necessity is the mother of all invention, right?
right? Yeah. Yeah, there you
and
go.
and when you leave the borders of your country into an unknown territory, you become very creative.
Yep.
And a lot of the
You would
things they
know.
yeah. when
Hanging out where
well,
technology hasn't touched much.
yeah, yeah. And that's also interesting when you go to
Yeah,
like
isn't
places like
it?
Afghanistan,
It's so
and you
weird,
see
man.
I looked at Afghanistan in the lens of what life might have been like when Christ
Yeah,
walked the earth.
absolutely, dude. Like, isn't
You
that
know,
wild?
yeah,
Like, they're
and
dabbling with our modern weapons to an extent, but for the most part, they still live like
yeah,
I
yeah.
would never even consider.
I think it would
And
be
they seem
insulting.
comfortable.
Yeah, I would think it would be insulting to say like cavemen, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I would say
They
that
have an entire cave infrastructure. Like, what? That's what it
yeah.
is. They're the definition of it.
Oh,
I don't
dude,
think it's insulting at all. I think it's an
no,
accurate description. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's why I like to encourage families to travel abroad and take their kids, because a lot of families will say, you know
Mhm.
what, I don't want to go to Disney
Yeah.
because my kids are like 2 years old and I want them to remember it. No, you take your little snot nosed booger flinger on a plane in a long car ride, so they learn how to behave in those environments. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first couple of times are going to be hell,
Yeah.
but you know what? You build up a battle rhythm at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Guess what? They know how to they know how to move. They'll know how to move about on their own.
Absolutely.
Because they've had experience with that.
Yeah.
But some we were talking about the positives and negatives
Yeah, let's
of
go back where we drifted again.
yeah,
That's good. I love
yeah,
that. That's why we do this. We
yeah,
don't have to stick to
yeah.
20-minute clips. Let's
we,
go.
yeah, we were talking about let's talk about the negative impacts
Yeah,
immediate.
let's do
Like
that.
they were like I always believe that you know that saying, and I don't know if you guys uh, where you worked at in the army, but tracer fire goes both ways.
That's
You
true.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
Mhm.
we saw that immediately. It was
What does
like
tracer fire do? It
it marks
illuminates,
the
right? It
yeah
marks
yeah
it marks
it
the
marks the
impact.
path.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw it on X, man. Like
Yep.
Charlie Kirk died, and all of a sudden it was just like the opening salvo happened simultaneously. And I sat back from saying anything right away,
Hmm.
especially about what happened, with my daughter,
Yep.
out of respect to Charlie and his family, because I didn't want it to be about me, but I did want to share how close we can be to tragedy at any given time. And so there was some thought there. When I post things, I usually put some thought into it.
No, yeah,
Um,
I would say that
yeah,
you don't fire from the hip like myself a lot.
yeah,
You're way
yeah.
more
I
measured, which
I
I will
do
give you credit for.
I do miss your post on baseball though, because
Oh, they're still
uh,
there, but it's just the
yeah.
Giants keep losing. So, once again, lost to the fucking Dodgers last night, 6-3.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Clayton Kershaw's last game.
Let's talk about the Giants later.
Yeah, we can do that later.
but but yeah, man, the some of the social impact on this is really, it kind of opened my eyes. I don't know if people are really truly evil, and I don't truly believe they believe in the things they post. I think a lot of times it's they're posting just to post, and you know see if their voice is heard. And that's fine, but everything comes with a cost, and we saw that with you know the sleuth of people going, that these internet sleuths who are getting people fired.
Yep.
And I I'm
Can't
on the
imagine.
fence. Yeah, I'm on the fence with that. Um, yeah, these people are obviously voicing some really concerning things,
Are
but at
you
the
on the
same
fence from
time,
the DOW side or from just the in
oh,
general?
the DOW side, dude, crush them.
Okay,
That's
because
where
yeah, I was gonna say, like Charlie
yeah,
he's a special DOW employee.
yeah, yeah,
People don't know
yeah,
that. So it's like you're technically cheering on the death of an undersecretary equivalent. So good
yeah,
luck with that.
yeah. Uh, I don't uh, I don't condone it, but at the same time, I understand.
Yeah, it's different in the DOW, right? It's just
Yeah,
different. Everything else,
yeah,
I can get away because that's up to the company. If a company wants to get rid of them, then that's up to the company,
yeah,
right? But from
yeah,
our perspective, where like when you sign an oath or you make that oath, like look, you better be very careful. And I know that's the problem with a lot. I always go back to it's like 2012 when the DoD at the time was like nobody gets social media or everybody does. And they said everybody gets it. And you have a whole generation of soldiers and officers and leaders and all of it at this point, 13 years in, who grew up with social media and being able to say whatever they want. And now they're wearing a uniform and they don't understand. You have a social media policy. You might want to read it.
yeah. The sad thing is, it's a small minority of people who
Very
are
small.
negative,
Very small.
and it impacts the soldiers who are wanting to share with family
Hmm.
a promotion. It's
Right, exactly.
impacting.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was the point. That was the
Right,
justification. Like, look, I want parents to be able to look at their son deploying or whatever, graduating
right.
basic training, something.
Yeah, and it also opened our eyes to the horrors of combat. It also opened
Yeah,
our eyes to the joys of
yep,
serving.
yeah. Goes both
And
ways.
I'm proud. I'm proud of the guys who serve honorably. And I I have a hard time understanding those who are like, if you're left leaning and you're in the military, you got my respect, man. You
Yeah,
really
because you're
do.
still in it. You're still in it.
Yeah, you're still
Yep.
in it. If you're right leaning, it almost feels like there's some kinship, right?
Yeah.
But then there's those who are like out to destroy
The institution, for
the
sure. Yep.
institution itself, and they don't understand how fragile a a a system a political system is a very fragile environment, and I think that's why they want us to stay off. Want
Yeah.
soldiers and service members to stay off social media because it's so fragile.
And
Um,
we've been kind of spoiled.
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, we didn't learn much about Vietnam until years later. You
Hmm.
know, uh, we don't. I think we know more about Vietnam in 2025, that conflict, than we did in 1979. Or
Yeah.
75. Because we were all fed what Vietnam was through media, through the
Right.
news media. But now
Very
with social
controlled.
media,
Yeah. You're
yeah,
right. Yeah. Now the
now it's
realities are there. It's like
heck,
very
I
different.
can,
And then the technology is what's making it work. And that's why can I just let me go sideways for a second? Can
yeah,
I
yeah.
just ask you, like, from your perspective, is there a reason we don't see anything from Ukraine and Russia other than we're told these numbers of casualties are taking place? Is it because the technology has made it so bad, or is it because the media is refusing to cover it?
Hmm.
Because I'm told, like, even Trump, he'll go out there and be like, "Hey, there was 7,500 soldiers from Russia and Ukraine who died last week." And I'm just like, that sucks. Because that's a lot of fucking people, considering that's about the amount of casualties that we had or amount of deaths we had in Afghanistan, period. And you're telling me that happened last week, but yet, where is it? So what do you
Right.
think from that? Is it because it's so brutal in technology with the drones and everything, or is it just because no one's covering it?
No one cares.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I,
Yeah.
I, I mean, that's fair.
No
That
one
is fair.
cares.
No one cares.
Yeah, Gaza gets more clout
No,
right
that's
now
yeah. You see
because
that every day. Like you see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't see anything from Ukraine or Russia.
I'm sure if
Like you can
like
find it. There's War Monitor clips, that account that's out there on Twitter. Like you'll see the occasional drone that's coming in and dropping on a position of one or two people. But 7,500 people died last week.
yeah. So check this out. Remember during an election, during Biden's term, President Biden term, it was almost daily we were getting posts on X
Mm-hmm.
showing drone attacks,
Yep.
missile attacks, you know, Ukraine this, Ukraine that. Trump had a hard stance on, hey, we don't want nothing to do with this. We just want peace.
Yep.
Let's move on. Um, and so that was a point, a political point that the Biden administration lost because there was just too much. I don't know how true his involvement financially in Ukraine
Yeah, that's
truly
weird.
is, you
Yeah.
know, because that kind of dropped off the radar.
Yeah, because dude's on
Um,
the verge of death, so they're never gonna do anything to him.
yeah,
They're never gonna.
um,
Biden's gonna get off scot-free.
yeah, and I want to I want to talk about when I talk about Biden now, when I think about Biden, I want to respect the office in which he held, right?
100%. Yep.
And I I can't help but think that in trying to answer your question, uh, I think when Biden when Bi- if Kamala had became president, Ukraine will be on everyone's list,
Yeah.
right? Um, the trans issue will be emboldened.
Yep.
Uh, we will still see, on the news, uh, more footage of, kids being read, you know, the drag queen story hour.
God, yeah. Like we
Yeah,
dodged such a bullet, man. Like it's
yeah, yeah. And you know what? And in Europe right now, you know, there will still be a border crisis, globally,
not in
and
Poland. Poland, lock that door. What's up?
yeah, and they even start slinging lead, in
Yep.
downrange.
Love it.
So, in regards to, I think if the Harris administration were present today, we will still be talking. We will be still dumping millions into U.S. aid. We will
Oh my
still
God.
dumping
Yeah.
millions into Ukraine. Um, there, people, the vision of life will be different. These two kids that were hung in Mississippi,
Oh yeah. Just saw that.
uh, that would be a bigger issue. Um,
Isn't it like, but go back, do you think we'd be even have, do you think, like, I hate to say this, but do you think Charlie Kirk gets assassinated in the Harris presidency?
I think yes. I don't. I think some things like that
Just
wouldn't
meant they're just
change
gonna happen no matter what.
because let's let's talk about the causation.
Yeah.
And the biggest elephant in the room is from the time Trump took office in 2016 to present, every
Mhm.
Democrat, anything about MAGA,
They've lost their fucking minds, dude.
we are Nazis,
Yeah.
we are racists, we are
Hmm.
fascists.
All of them, all the ists, isms,
Yeah,
all of it.
yeah,
Even you,
and
Javi, even
yeah.
you.
Well, I'm a bootlicking coon,
Yeah.
yeah, and
You
and
get the extra title. Put that on. Remember I said in the chat the other day, new business card just dropped. Put that
oh
one
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Bootlicking
Uncle Tom bootlicking
bootlicking coon.
coon Mackey,
Fresh
All
out
right,
of
man.
Mackey Industries, it's the bootlicking
Yeah,
coon
yeah,
division. All right.
yeah. Chucking and jiving, and that's a sad thing, because and at some point, what I'm afraid of what it really would happen is that the Antifa
Yep.
would be emboldened even
Hmm.
further.
Hmm.
Antifa would have infiltrated the ranks of the U.S. military
Mm.
um, under a Harris administration, and they
Hmm.
wouldn't do anything about it. Um, I also feel that the attacks on uh, any conservative, you know, would just be amplified,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and the wrong people will be put in the wrong positions
Hmm.
throughout the administration. So uh, I'm glad, not kind of, I'm very glad that at least Trump won the election. I'm glad that at least he's trying to tackle problems. I might not be happy with some of the results.
Yeah. Of
You,
course.
you
I
know,
mean,
I,
nothing's
I
ever perfect.
I just took up a hobby of making bread, and right before
Nice. Look at you. All
yeah,
right.
like right before we started the podcast, I just pulled my ciabatta out of the oven. And
Okay. I thought you were West Coast guy. You'd be making sourdough. What's up?
oh, that's next.
Okay.
Brett. So I like to cook. So the thing is, I
Yeah.
like to
Same.
cook,
So do I.
and this is tied into the discussion because food prices are still pretty high, and
Hmm.
I don't until we can, once you put money, you overinflate the currency, is hard to take it back, right?
Right.
Because where does that money go? And prices only have one. There's only one choice for prices, and that's for prices to go up.
Hmm.
And just, I think we're going to ride this high price thing out until we're all used to it. It's like going on it's like going on a company run at a 6 mile pace. Yeah, you're going to have some fallouts, but
It just is what it is.
it is what it is,
It is what it is.
Yeah, eventually everybody's going to be running.
Yeah. We'll circle back. We'll
uh,
get everybody. We got an hour
yeah,
to get
yeah.
this done. Let's go.
Yeah, there's no, that's the thing. There's no time limit. Like there's no due date at which inflation rates need to go down.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? You're like,
No, I
hey,
get it 100%. I
yeah,
get what you're saying.
yeah, if somebody in the world said, hey, by March 15th, by St. Patty's Day 2026, inflation rates need to be at XYZ. You guess what?
It's not gonna happen.
Well, if if there's somebody holding your feet to the fire, yeah, it'll probably happen, but
Okay. That's
there's
yeah.
going to be there's going to be some implications. But who's going to tell who to do that? The
Hmm.
government's the only. Who's going to tell the government what to do?
Yep.
And who? And all right, in our constitutional republic, how do you get the demographics to say, hey, Congress, Senate, this is the date. We need somebody to say this is the date in which we want to see this happen. And then until that point, or we'll vote you out of office.
Oh, I
We
wish we
don't,
could do that. We don't do shit like
yeah,
that anymore. We just watch
no.
this theater that takes place.
And then these clowns in the House and
A new debt
the
that now the spending bill's coming up. Now we got to play this annual game of a continual resolution or not. We ain't even getting a
yeah.
budget anymore, man. It's just
And it's funny at work we get affected by the CRs, right?
yeah.
And everybody's like, "Do I even show up for work?"
Look, I'm a big proponent in like at this point in my life, like if you ain't getting paid, you mean to stay home.
Yeah,
But if you're not,
yeah,
it's very different. Like the only time I was ever affected by that as a reservist was like 2012-ish,
yeah,
2011 maybe. There was a big deal with a showdown, a shutdown. I was like, oh, you guys can't go to drill this weekend because there's no money. I was like, oh, well, whatever. I'll watch football.
yeah, yeah.
It's
You're not
like,
hurting my feelings.
no.
You're
But
like,
I felt
darn, I
bad
gotta.
for it, like active duty, where it's like you guys got to do this every day. It's just like, oh, well, what do I do?
Yeah,
I need to get
yeah.
paid. I got a family, like, very
I would.
different.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never had a paycheck withheld
Well,
unless it was.
maybe it's because you were in a very specific field,
Oh,
Javi.
no, 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 nope, nope, nope.
No? Okay.
No, actually, I got it. My first deployment in SF, I got a no pay due when I got back.
You got to know what?
A no pay due.
What does that mean?
Oh, dude, you're S1. You don't know
No,
that?
I don't. I'm logistics, bro. I don't
Oh,
say that
okay.
shit.
So, all right. I thought you were, for whatever reason, I thought you were a 42 series.
No, that
And,
was a long time ago. Previous life.
all right. So,
Lives have
an,
changed.
I, a no pay due is when a DFAST has stopped your payment coming to you.
Oh,
And so there was a mix up in my paperwork, and when I returned back, I filled out my voucher for my TD my deployment in TDY,
hmm.
and the next month, because of that mix up, I didn't get paid.
Wow.
They paid me my BAH and my BAS,
Well,
but
that's
they
nice.
withheld my base pay and all my pro pays until it
Wow.
got fixed, and it took 3 months, man. So I went 3 months,
Oh, no, I believe that part. So you went 3 months without base pay,
yeah, without base pay. But my wife is smart, so
which is always
I am
good.
I am
Right.
I am I am married to a freaking angel, dude.
Mhm.
She so nothing changes in our lifestyle when we get, because you get paid more money when you're deployed, right?
Yep.
So what my wife did was she squirreled all the money away until I got home,
Hmm. Nice.
and then we lived off that
The
the
tax-free spot.
tax
Yeah.
free until things got squared away, and then we just continued on. And so, um, anybody out there listening, if your wife is not filling your cup like Mister, Eric here, filling up, doing his refill on his what he got going on there, son.
I know Kentucky Par 12-year. Picked this up in the Panhandle of Florida district. Really good
Yeah,
stuff. You don't see this.
yeah,
Very good
yeah.
stuff.
If you're not refilling your spouse's cup, you know, you need to rethink your options. And I'm not saying I'm not one for divorce. I'm always the one to work things
No.
out.
All right,
Yeah,
let me just establish before we get
but
back into the serious shit. Let me just really establish because I don't think it's been done. And this goes back to the people. It's just because it's been in my head since we've talked about these people that go at you on Twitter sometimes or X, whatever we call it. The people who have no idea who the fuck you are. It's like I want everyone to understand. We're talking to Javier Mackey, who was a Green Beret. He was awarded the Silver Star.
nope, nope. Bra start
Okay,
with V.
that's right, Bronze Star with V, win for the Silver. But he was with Staff Sergeant
Rob.
Robbie Miller, who
Yep.
was actually awarded the Medal of Honor. He
Yep.
was there,
Yeah.
right? This is Javier Mackey, a Green
He
Beret. He's
he
not
died in my arms.
died in Javier Mackey's arms. Like this is a fucking American hero, in my opinion, and many others. And he is qualified beyond 99.9% of this country to talk like he's talking right now. And he's done things that most people on this planet will never ever do. And so I want to just bring that because I know we've talked about it in previous appearances, but people need to understand who I'm actually talking to. This isn't just my boy. This is a
Yeah.
dude who's done some dude shit and deserves all of our respect. So, all right, let's go
No,
forth, Javi.
I still want to earn that respect, regardless
Well, you've
of
got more
things I've.
than you've got more than enough of it, man. Like the
Well, respect, like, so one of the things in special forces is like you go through your initial assessment, and once you get selected, the very first thing they tell you, and I don't know if they still do this to this day, but the very first, after they have taken all the guys, the 21 day non-selects away, and the rest that are remaining, the first thing they say is, hey, you've been selected, but remember this, you're always being assessed.
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
That's wild.
you go to group.
And we're always looking
So
for you.
you complete your special forces qualification course. You've earned your special forces tab in Green Beret. You're giving your high speed Yarbo knife, and they say congratulations. Remember, you're always being assessed.
Mhm.
You show up to group. You get to you meet your group sergeant major before he assigns you to your battalion. You get told the same thing all the way down to the team, and it's very humbling because what does that say? It says, hey, just because you got it doesn't mean you're going to keep it. And I've known guys who've earned their Green Beret, served in group, and get their shit taken. And because you're always being assessed. And there's a saying in SF, live your life as if the next day you show up to work and your shit's in the hallway. And that's true. That's
That's
a
fucking wild, dude.
if you
Wow.
see some tough boxes with a name on it sitting in a hallway when you show up for work, that's a bad day. And but no, I constantly want to earn people's respect, even on social media.
I'm taking these
Uh,
notes, bro. I'm putting this out at my first formation next month. I'm first sergeant still. Like,
yeah,
look,
yeah, man.
I'm dropping some of these things. Like, hey, you better live like you about to be. Your shit's about
Yeah,
in the fucking hallway.
but
No,
dude,
I'm serious. I'm writing this
you
shit
got
down. I'm
the
saying it tomorrow. I'm saying it next month. It's happening.
you got the most important job, like one of the most important jobs in the formation, man, as a
Well, no,
company
I
first
love it. I
sergeant.
relish it,
Yeah.
man. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And what's crazy about, like, I didn't know this about like the reserves and National Guard. Maybe it's not so much the reserves, but more the National Guard. You can fluctuate in rank. Like you can be a E5 one day and done nothing wrong and get, hey, we don't have any money for your rank anymore. Now you're E4.
It's probably a
Or
guard. It's probably a guard thing.
yeah,
It's a state
more
budget.
guard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, why would you be a guardsman, man? And but it's an
Well,
important
so
job.
here's why, right? So the National Guard has the combat forces.
Right, right, right.
So, I mean, if you want to be an infantryman but part-time, well, you can't do that
Yeah,
in the reserves. Well, unless you go to Hawaii. So people don't know that. That is the secret. There is a reserve battalion of infantryman in Hawaii.
yeah.
Fun
Isn't there
fact.
one in Puerto Rico too?
Maybe yes. I
I
know Fort
think there's
Buchanan
one.
has they do, but I don't think it's as prominent.
I think
Definitely the Guard has their shit down there.
I think some of your what do you call it? Your U.S. protectorates have a combat
Yeah, I think Fort Buchanan
arms unit.
has some shit going on. Yeah, they
I
got
think they
all
might
kinds
be.
of stuff down at Fort Buchanan. Mortuary affairs. I got some
Oh yeah,
shit going on down there. Those were
our
the
boy.
first people from the reserve side activated to respond to 9/11.
Oh wow, yeah.
I only know that because one of my drill sergeant leaders, when I was in drill sergeant school, was from Fort Buchanan. That's what they did, and then they were actually in my drill sergeant unit. And I was
Oh
like, oh
wow.
shit, yeah.
Did you know our boy Julio was at mortuary affairs?
Julio is Morton as a
Rosa.
Marine, was he? I
Yeah,
know he was Marine. I didn't know what he actually did. Was he mortuary
yeah,
affairs for real?
yeah, man. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's wild. I didn't know Marines had that.
yeah, yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that'd be more of a Navy job.
Dude, I just went to a Marine Corps boot camp graduation.
So did I. I just did on in Paris Island only because
Yeah. When
so
were you there?
uh end of July-ish, August.
I was I was there in August, August 29th.
Hold on. No, it wasn't that soon. The only reason I went is my buddy Aaron from
It's funny.
California. We play
It's funny.
softball together. He was my first gym friend I made, but his daughter, he wanted me to talk to her and try to recruit her to the army. Didn't work. She always wanted to be a Marine. She's a drill instructor there, and it was her last cycle as a senior drill, so they wanted me to come watch her do that, and so I got to see that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So that
And
was
this what's cool about the Marine Corps when you're when they
the Marine
uh
Corps is full propaganda. That's what I love about them. Like, I wish the
what
Army would just follow what they do. Just like fucking
yeah,
pound people over the fucking face with it and stop trying to sugarcoat it and let it be like, oh,
yeah,
well, you can do whatever. No, you're a fucking soldier. The
yeah,
Marines make everything about you're a fucking Marine. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You're a Marine.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome.
August 8th was when I was there.
Yeah, I was there August 29th.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, for my buddy, the kid I go to church with. He was
Nice. Yeah, I saw the picture. Yeah. You were at
yeah,
Paris Island?
yeah, I was at Paris Island.
What'd you think? Because that was the first time I was there. I don't know. Had you ever been there before?
I've been there before, but
Okay.
the only time
I
I
thought it
was
was
on
pretty. That
base.
entrance driving in after you
Oh
get
yeah,
to the
yeah.
gate, I was like, wow, this is pretty
You
nice.
you literally feel like you're on an island
Yeah,
because I
it
was
was
there during
nice.
I was there during a high tide and the
Oh, okay.
where all the recruits do the basic training.
Hmm.
The water, there's water on either side when you go down that narrow road to where they graduate. And I'm like, holy crap. These guys, I bet you if they drive here, they think they can't get off this place at all.
Yeah.
No, but the thing about the Marines is like exactly what you said, man. They got the best propaganda machine in
Yep.
the world,
Hmm.
and uh, I was out and about getting some yeast and stuff this morning, and I was going to Lowe's to get some stuff to do some yard work before we hopped on, and there's this guy running for the city council, so I went to go get his literature, see what he's all about. And he was like, "Yeah, I remember." He goes, "Yeah." He asked me if I was a vet, and I go, "Yeah, I served." He goes, "Yeah, I was a." He goes, "I was a Marine," and then he stopped. I'm still am.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a former Marine. It's like
Yeah,
I am a
yeah,
Marine.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
And
I,
I asked him point blank while we were in the stands watching. I'm like, so what made your daughter want to do this again? And he's like, oh, because it was the hardest. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
totally subjective. Like you can't
yeah.
prove that, but that's what the Marines
No,
think. They think
yeah,
that their basic training is the hardest.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't,
I,
whatever. But the point is, that's what people think.
right. And you know what?
It's a PR game, and the Marines have it down to a thing because they're so small, they can do it.
Well, they kept it. That's the
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
They kept
Yeah.
it.
That
They
too.
definitely kept it. But no, man. Like seeing the kids in uniform, seeing the cadets in uniform, seeing our service members serve really brings me great joy. Especially when I'm traveling. I did a lot of travel this year, man. I
Yeah.
did over 150,000 miles of travel.
Oh wow.
Um, uh, I was usually I post on our group chat where I'm at. Dude, I
Yep.
was so busy. I was so busy. Like one week I was at Fort Riley, the next week I was at West Point, another week I was at
Mhm.
Benning, and the next week I was at Fort Rucker. It was
That's
just
cool,
like,
man. Yeah, I'm
uh,
jealous. You got to go to Bennett or not Benning, but West Point. I'd love to get up there.
yeah. Yeah. Have you been there before,
I'm not. I have not.
dude? Um, West Point is it's it's nice. It's really nice.
I bet. Especially
It's
now it's fall. I might have to take a road trip on a weekend. Just drive up
it's
there.
like it's like Hogwarts for the military. You know,
I
yeah.
bet, man. Like the history, like just think about the generals who went there that we've gotten our like our history. That's crazy.
You, you know there was a riot at West Point back in the early days.
I
Uh,
think, yeah, I vaguely remember reading about because I thought, what's his name?
it was Terry Shat.
Sherman. I
I've
thought
heard.
Sherman wrote about this in his book.
I don't know if it was during his time period, but it was over eggnog.
Yes. Yeah, as it should be.
Yes, the
The
West
egg.
Point the West Point eggnog riot.
Nice. Fuck yeah. I'm gonna bring that up. I gotta get back to. Well, so wait, let me get your take. Are you pro eggnog?
I'm pro eggnog,
Yes,
and,
we've got Javi. We
uh,
cannot lose.
and this year, in
We got,
fact,
we,
in
we
this
have
year,
the most violent people on our side. I love it.
this year, I'm going to make some homemade eggnog.
Hell yeah. I have George Washington's recipe that they attribute to me.
Yeah,
Do you want it?
yeah, man,
It's
send it.
extensive. It's expensive. It's like an $80 recipe. It's
Oh, dang, man. But
because it's
there's
like
a
it makes enough for like 30 people though. So it's like,
yeah.
you just throw it in the fridge, you're good to go. But
Well, there's the all the Puerto Ricans I work with
like
make some version of it,
I'm trying
and
to
I
remember the
didn't.
name of that. No, I know this. It begins with a C.
Um, and one of my buddies, he hands me a liter of it, right? And he goes, "Hey, man, hey, Merry Christmas." I didn't know what was in it, man, so I chugged this down.
Coquito. There we go. Coquito.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh,
Coquito.
hey, man, I made you some cotito." I'm like, "All right, cool, cool." The first time ever drinking it, I'm sitting there drinking it at work, and he was like,
Drinking it at work. No idea alcohol's in it.
"Yeah, bro,
I'm lit. Just
I,
gone. Gone.
dude, by lunch I'm lit," and I'm
Yeah.
like, because I couldn't taste the
No,
alcohol
absolutely
at
not.
all.
Especially with Coquito. They just it's so like
And
they mask it perfectly.
yeah, and so I'm in the kitchen rinsing out my liter, the container he gave it to me. He goes, "Bro, did you drink that?" And I go,
Yes, I did.
"Yeah,
And
duh,
I'll
you
do it
gave it to
again.
me."
And I'll do it again.
And he goes, and this is before it hit, this like literally like once I got back to the desk, I was like, "Oh, now I feel it." I'm like, "Dang it, dude." Uh, anyway, and so I was like, "All right, I didn't know, and so because with my TBI, I can't drink. Um,
Really? Oh shit.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. But that was part of the treatment. Is,
Just mango
hey,
lemonade. So,
yeah, mango lemonade. That's about it. But yeah, so I'm sitting there like buzzing off of this, and I'm like, yeah. If I drink that much and I can still do my work, then it wasn't that much in it. But
I think it's just rum that's in theirs, but
yeah,
a real eggnog, the George Washington recipe, I'll send it over to you if you want to
yeah,
mess
yeah,
with it.
man,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's all of it. It's rum, whiskey, all of it. It's good.
dude,
There's a lot going on.
yeah. So my wife, she's going to get me the Julia Child's the Art of French Cooking
Yeah,
books.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
This is
so she
great.
says, "Hey, you can't be making this stuff every night. You can only do this once a month because those are some expensive recipes."
Yeah, and that's what I love about French cooking is like most of it is it has alcohol,
Yeah,
wine, red
yeah,
wine, brandy, whatever.
yeah,
Like when I make coq au vin, like and I let my daughter always do this. Like at some point you gotta pour brandy in there and you gotta ignite it, cook the alcohol off, right? And she loves
right,
cooking.
right.
She loves doing the ignition because within
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the flamboyant it's
yeah,
flavor. Oh, and it gives you the flavor of the alcohol and without the alcohol. Yeah, so that's why French cooking is amazing. Like I don't understand like the French people, and this goes back to the Benedictine monks. There's an extent to it, but like they they did everything
yeah,
and they just
yeah,
fucking gave it away. I don't know. Like they're cooking this the wine, all of it. Like the French people have just like,
yeah.
this most amazing fucking history, and
It's
they're just so like ridiculous.
yeah, and you know what though? But
And they're so revolutionary though, but at the same time, I don't like. And now to
the
see
thing
what's
is,
going on in France, it's just like, are you guys? Are we gonna wake up again, or what? What are we doing?
yeah, but it was kind of messed up times though too during that time period because the church got those. was blessed with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then therefore the aristocrats were blessed by it, but then the masses really weren't, you know.
Yep.
And so it was kind of lopsided. And, thank goodness, and times evolved, and that's the that technology and that knowledge was presented to the masses.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the discussion when we were talking about
Yeah, let's get
libraries,
back here. Let's get
the
back.
evolution of libraries and knowledge is what happens when you give the populace knowledge. It becomes chaotic, and we see that now with the advent of the internet. And back to
Oh
what I
yeah.
was talking about in the beginning with my colleagues, I was talking about that evolution of resource being that resource material being available to the masses. I was talking about how in Stockton, I lived in north side of Stockton. The Stockton Library was downtown Stockton. That meant I had to catch a bus from my house to the library if my parents were working. That meant that I also had to be on a bus and take two transfers there. And then, I had to wait for the bus anywhere from, 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the traffic, take an hour to get, to do a 20-minute ride with all the stops and transfers, and then do whatever I was going to do in the library, hop on, wait for another bus, and go back, or say, hey mom, when you come off work, pick me up at the
Right.
library. So
Yeah.
now I'm kind of stuck there. But that now the libraries that are, we had the Encyclopedia Britannica. You paid
Mhm.
$1,000 for 26 books that you got
Oh,
in
now it's
piecemeal.
all on your phone. Everything you ever
Now it's
wanted to
on your
know.
phone.
So search
Yeah.
away.
And now
Should have
I
made
can
us
now
smarter. Hasn't.
oh no, it's made us lazy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It made us,
Yeah.
and that's why I started cooking because
Yeah. No, I
mm,
love cooking, man. That's awesome.
there's a lot of science involved, especially in bread making.
Oh yeah, and
You
bacon.
know,
That's what my daughter loves to do. Like she's
yeah.
fucking incredible. The cheesecake, the dessert, the stuff she comes up with. I'm just like, what? Why
Bro,
aren't you doing
ciabatta,
this in school? Why are we wasting time on fucking biology and becoming a
dude.
vet? Why don't you go
You
be
know
a
the
baker?
the best class I took was a quantitative mathematics class.
Okay, that just hurt my head. That's too many syllables, man. I didn't do that.
All right, yeah, all right,
What are you
quantitative
doing
math.
like calculus right now? Like I'm just like,
No,
don't
no, no, no.
see anything.
Quantitative mathematics. It sounds fancy. It sounds
Mhm.
hard, but it's not. Guess what? It's the math that you use every day to get from point A to point B. All right.
Okay.
It shows you how to balance a checkbook. It shows you how the electoral college casts
Okay.
votes,
Yeah.
how congressional districts are created, and how many representatives a state gets for Congress. Um, it talks about how it teaches you how to if you're doing a recipe, like say for instance, I make a recipe up on my own, right? How many, how much, how much of the ingredients I need to make, how much of the ingredients I need to make whatever it is I'm making.
Right.
Um, it teaches you how to, calculate board feet and, how much pipe you need for a house. I, I had absolute, I had a whole lot of fun doing that because I was like, you know what? Why didn't I get taught this in high school? You know, why am I solving for X? And that's the and nowadays you can hop on AI and kind of learn that stuff.
Yeah,
I
no,
get
for
on
sure.
Chat GPT and I said, hey, look, I want a class on making sourdough starter,
Hmm.
and and you can tell it, hey, how much detail you want, if you
Yeah, it's
want
all
the
about the
recipe.
prompting. Yeah, it's all about the
Or you can say, hey, what chemical reactions are actually happening right now, and so I had a lot of fun making this ciabatta. I was like, hey, what's going on here?
yeah.
Why do I have to have this what they call a biga, which is basically, or a biga slash basic sponge slash starter. That's all it is. It's just you have your sourdough starter, and I'm just waiting to figure out. I'm gonna learn how to make a sourdough starter,
Hmm.
and then I'm just gonna cultivate it and see.
Supposedly, the sourdough being made in San Francisco is still using the original yeast strain from the 1850s.
Yeah, yeah,
Isn't that
yeah,
wild?
yeah. And then there's other starters too, like for that are a little more sensitive. Like for instance, there's a friendship Amish friendship bread starter.
Okay.
You can't use metal with it, or you destroy the starter.
Mm.
You know,
So how's
yeah,
that
and I'm
work?
pretty.
Gotta do
I don't know.
wood or what?
Yeah, you got to use
Yeah.
wood and
Wood and
glass, man.
glass. Okay.
Uh, uh, I'm pretty sure we could. There's some Byzantine monk that we could
Oh,
do for that.
yeah, absolutely. I'll send it to
Not
you.
Byzantine, but
I'll send you the
Benedictine.
book, man. It says how Western civilization was built by the Catholic Church is essentially the name of the book. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I
crazy.
mean, you. It's funny. Let's go back to
Monetary.
the people that we interact with, or especially
Hmm.
the guys who interact with me. I think I'm interacting with the same person or same. Seriously, man. I want to sit there and I want to like I'm gonna start like uh, snapping these guys' post and see if I can figure out some type of logarithm to their what words they use and how they
Mhm.
and how
Yeah.
they choose to interact with me. Because I think a lot of us are actually arguing with AI.
You might be right. And you have a fairly big account for most
Yeah,
people. You have
I mean
you're in the
mine is
tens of
small.
thousands of yeah, but
Yeah,
you have more than 10,000 followers. So you can
well,
pull out some crazies.
yeah. Well, so, for instance, I've been sitting at 13,000, close, yeah, 13,000 for a year or so. And it really all depends. And like, I'll get like 100, like it'll go up to 13,1, right?
Yeah.
And then after like 3 or 4 days, it'll go back down to like 13,025.
Yeah, I think that's when X clears out the bots, the porn bots,
Yeah.
and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I'm like, how does this even happen? And and it gets me wondering, like, what's really going on behind the scenes. And now it really starts messing with my SF brain, my special forces brain, because in a particular part of our training, we get taught about how we get taught about psychological warfare. I'm just going
Hmm.
to say that,
Yeah.
and how things are manipulated, how you can be easily manipulated. And it was against the law to use psychological for the government to use psychological
For the
operations
US.
in the U against U.S. citizens until Obama. If it's like the
Oh,
months,
wow.
it's the MUNT something act, and I'm not
Hmm.
too
I have no
I'm
idea
not too
about this. That's crazy.
I'm not too smart on it, but when he in place that, they kind of opened up the doors for the government to use psychological operation, and that helped the Democratic Party. And let me give you a contextual, a concrete experience on that. Not my concrete experience, but we both witnessed it during the election cycle. Trump, something will happen. Like, just say anything happened, any one thing happened, and then the Democrats will all start voicing the same thing across
Oh, we
all
still
the
see
new.
that. That's going on
Yeah,
still. We
yeah,
still see
you
that.
know, you know, the calling Trump a Nazi.
Yep.
They all locked in. They all got in step on that and started
Hmm.
repeating the same things. And I think that's going to die off. Personally, I really do. I think this is going to come. They're seeing that this is not really going to benefit.
The left is just they're so spiraling at this point.
Yeah,
Like they're so toxic, that entire brand.
they and they can't help themselves. They've
No, they
dug
can't. They
themselves.
keep doing the same shit that like Omar's back out there today talking about how Charlie Kirk's a fucking demon and a
Yeah,
fascist and all this shit and like I don't need to fucking sit here and let me I'm not going to apologize for anything. I'm like, okay, please keep talking.
yeah.
Please keep talking because you're not pulling people to you.
The other one is
AOC.
Minnesota's governor,
Oh
same
yeah,
thing.
Tim Walz. Like, I mean, but that guy is like all right. Like, come on, no white people.
Yeah.
It's like no like heterosexual white male is going to be drawn to Tim Walz. I'm just sorry.
No, 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 no.
And then no,
He
but what's your reaction to Tim Walz though? Like, you're not a white
he
man. So what do you see when you
he
look at this dude?
when he was nominated,
And he
I was
was an
like,
army guy. Like, and he lied
yeah.
about his fucking rank. Like,
Well, up until we found out about his stolen valor, and
mhm.
I think that was kind of blown up out of proportion, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I was kind of like, oh shoot, she might pull this off.
Really? You thought so?
Yeah, I like
Wow.
for like 24 like a news cycle. I literally was like, oh crap, we're in trouble. And then everything started coming out, and I'm like, oh, this guy was a reservist, and
Yep.
he was frocked a few times,
Mhm.
and he made that his political. Had
And
he
then he made
like,
coins and shit about rank he never
yeah,
had, man. Like, you can't
yeah.
do that. Come on.
Had he came out and said, "Hey, look,
That's all he had to do.
I
That's
was a
all he had to
frocked,"
do.
explain what it means to be frocked,
Yep.
and then say, "Hey, this is yeah, I served in that. I served with that responsibility, but no, I was not it officially."
Yes.
Then that, I mean, it
That
would have
was
been a
how I
different
was
story.
for my first sergeant
Yeah,
time. My very first sergeant time, I was an E7 frocked as a first sergeant.
yeah, yeah,
Very
and
simple.
and
It actually
SF,
makes you look better because you are performing above your pay grade and rank.
right, right,
Say so.
right.
Say
Yeah,
that people thought so highly of you that you were put in a position of greater trust and responsibility based off of your rank that you did not
yeah,
have. But no, you
yeah,
wanted to make a coin saying you were the command sergeant major.
right.
No, you were not.
Or
No, you
yeah,
were never.
so as a soldier, I was really disappointed in that he didn't control. He lost control of that.
But he looks like
Uh,
that though, doesn't he? Does he not?
yeah,
Go back to
yeah,
all like maybe, and it's very probably very different for you because you're used to being in a very select group of people who are high achievers, whereas big army, where I can come from, I can say like I'm not surprised that someone like this would rise to the level he was because sometimes all you got to do is stick around.
yeah. All you
You
do is
can't do
show
that
up.
in your world. Can you do that in your world? Can you just stick
No,
around? Oh no,
no.
that's my
Let,
point.
let me paint a picture for you in SF. So everybody comes in. Most guys will come in as a E6 or a
Yeah.
sergeant or staff sergeant, right?
Right.
And making E7 is like making specialists. Becoming a sergeant first class is like making specialists in the in SF. So let's just take it for granted that if you stick around long enough, you're going to make sergeant first class, which that's what I retired at.
Right.
But by the time you get you're a sergeant first class, and you came from the big army or you were recruited off the street, you've you have gone to all the same schools that everybody else has gone to.
Yeah.
You've probably got a number of deployments or had a number of deployments under your belt. You've probably you've probably done everything that everyone else has done. Moving up is pretty freaking hard.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
There's no
it,
spots.
yeah, it's like once you go to the majors, there's no super majors, right? You know,
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Hey,
yeah,
we're all in the majors now. But guess what?
yeah,
Now you got to stick
but
around. There's
yeah,
nowhere to go from here.
and I can only imagine like the guys over at like Task Force Orange, Task Force,
I don't know what that is,
Delta,
Javi.
or if you're still Team Six, or
I think everyone's heard of Delta. No one knows what it is.
uh,
You said
yeah,
orange, and I definitely have never heard
oh
of shit. So I don't know what that is.
yeah. So
Are you allowed to
so
break news here tonight? Like, what's
no, I don't. I'm not going to even talk smart on it because I don't. You can do like one of the task force, special operation task forces that's color coded. Let's say it, put it
okay?
that way.
Gotcha.
Um,
Sounds cool.
yeah, those guys they might move up fast, but guess what, man? They're those guys are earning it because they have to. Like, again, you're being assessed every day,
Every day. That's
and
every day.
you might show up to work and your shit is literally in the hallway. And
That
guess what?
sucks. Have you seen that? Ever seen that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen that. So, real quick story. There's this kid. this guy I went to, I was in a Q course with, and we were doing PT on Wednesdays for this particular part of the course was our ruck day,
Okay.
and uh, your rucksack had to weigh 60 pounds
Yep.
without water. He showed, and most of the time the cadre don't, there's it's an honor system, big boy rules, and this kid showed up um, with a light rucksack. And so we're doing flutter kicks and push ups and whatnot. And the cadre just out of the blue decides, you know what? Let me pick up these rucks and see if they're heavy. So he's going down the line. Yep, 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 yep. And he picks one up and it's above his head. And he's like, ooh, we're light.
And they know though, but like, 'cause they do this so long, they know when
Oh
something's
yeah,
not
yeah,
60
yeah.
fucking
You're a
pounds.
drill sergeant.
Yeah,
You're a
you
drill
know
sergeant.
when
You
it's
know,
not fucking,
right?
you know.
So it was one of these instances where we had to show up on a Saturday for corrective training.
Ugh.
Well, somehow it just so happens this guy who had a light ruck had to go pick up somebody. He already had a prior commitment. And so he didn't show up, and so show up time was like 5 o'clock in the morning. We didn't get released for until 2, and we were doing PT for a round robin PT with a different cadre every 2 hours from 5 to 1400. So
Nice. Wow. 8
that's
hours a day. There you
I,
go. That's a
so
good
I
day.
held so I held a grudge on this guy. I had a grudge. We graduate, we get to group. He gets a group ahead of me, and he's in the company. And I again, I'm thoroughly pissed that this guy is wearing a green beret. He doesn't deserve it in my eyes, and he's in my company. And so this clown, this ass clown, no talent ass clown, he's getting schools left and right. I gotta, I have to do, I have to, give hand jobs to get my butt into a school. A school that matters. And so this guy is just getting like Halo school, scuba school, and he gets this one school I really wanted. And I'm like, dude, I hope you freaking fail this. And sure enough, man, this guy goes, and this is one of these schools where when I say big boy rules, it's really big boy rules because you're doing some some low vis operational type things. And he gets an honor code violation for having a girl in his room.
Oh,
Um,
well, at least he's
and when
not. No.
and when I say big, again, when I say big boy rules, we're out in public wearing plain clothes,
Yeah.
training amongst civilians that don't know that what we're doing type
Right.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was an honor code violation because he had sensitive material
In
and
his
items
room.
in his room.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Because I think most
so
people would hear that and be like, "What's the big fucking deal?" And you just said
well,
why it's a big deal.
yeah. And it's such a big deal that every day we're supposed to hand that stuff in, and there's somebody whose job is to there's somebody out who's not training, whose sole purpose in life is to sit in a room guarding that material.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets back, and dude, within 2 weeks he was out of the army, like
Out of the army.
out of the army,
Holy
lost his
shit.
tab,
Oh my. What?
lost his clearance.
Holy
Um,
shit. Why?
that's
Because of that, or was everything just kind of hit him at once?
well, there was so it was a buildup. It's
Okay.
usually you know how it is in the army.
Yeah.
There's usually
Yeah.
buildup.
They hit you when they hit you.
They hit you, and you screw up. Hey, you get your counseling statement, you
Yeah.
get your corrective actions. They got you on the fat boy diet. He was in shape. Um, he was in shape, but this one thing was the nail that broke. Was the straw that broke the
Yeah.
camel's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And guess what? I showed up that morning, and his shit was in the hallway, and I was like,
Damn.
"Wow, this is real." Another instance, we had like some X-rays. They graduated the course. They got they went to a dive team, and they're
So am I
they
saying
screw
this right? So you're talking about 18 X-rays?
18
So these are
X-rays.
the
Yeah,
people who can enlist into the special
yeah,
forces path.
Yep.
Like
They
but yeah, okay. And they're not
yep.
guaranteed. They're just getting an opportunity and they have to make it.
Yep.
Otherwise, they go needs of the army. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. But these guys made it to group,
Got it. Okay.
and two guys. Um, fortunately, and they're good dudes. They screwed up while they were young.
Hmm.
They screwed up while they were young. It was not. It was really minor. But I walk in. It was early morning. It was like 6 o'clock. I show up at 6 to do some work and go do some PT. And oh boy, both of them are outside their team room. Their Mitch helmets have been painted red, and it says cherry in white across. And they've been standing there a half hour already,
Just wearing the helmet.
wearing a helmet at the position of attention in the hallway. And because they're E5s,
Hmm.
and I don't know what their infraction was, but whatever that infraction was, they stood out there for a week. Their
What?
place of duty, their their
Oh,
place of duty
shit.
was, and then every time they had to use the bathroom or get water or whatever, they had to knock on the team room door. So they're standing out their team room, and each team room had double doors. They had to knock. They had a SOP. They had to knock 3 times. Request to enter. Open the door. State the reason why they interrupted whatever they're interrupted. Some back and forth, and then they were able to go use the bathroom. They had to come back, knock on the door, go through the whole motion again, dude. So these two dudes end up being the best Green Berets,
Really? Oh, wow.
eh, because they just didn't have
It got
the
reinforced. Like
yeah,
everything.
it got reinforced.
Yeah.
They both became warrant officers. They
Oh,
both
wow.
became
So what's a
um
warrant officer in your world? Briefly.
so
Like,
so
'cause that's what
the
Joe
warrant
Kent was for those who
yeah,
still,
yeah.
for whatever reason, hate Joe Kent, but I don't get
Uh,
it.
the
Okay.
the warrant officer on the team is the he's the second in command,
Okay.
and he's the chief. He serves as the chief of staff to the ODA.
Okay.
So he manages all the special skills of the team.
Okay.
I don't really want to dive into that. He reviews all the con ops, and he helps
So he's like an
draw.
XO, but a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
the most experienced guy on the team,
Oh, there
and
you go.
he
Okay.
is. Yeah, he's the most
Which is
experienced
not
guy
the
on the
XO
team.
then. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But he's supporting
So
the commander overall.
yeah, and you have to be a Green Beret to be a warrant
Right.
officer. So it's not like you're branched into it or anything like that, or you
Yeah, just
change
yeah.
MOSs.
And you get selected to go do that, right?
Yep, you get
Definitely.
selected. There's no selection like there is for. You don't have to go through the SFAS
Right, but
process
you just
again.
like you and I drop a packet, it's not
Yeah,
guaranteed. Like you have to
yeah.
do. Yeah, gotcha.
In fact, mine was turned down. My packet
Oh
was turned
shit.
down. Yeah, yeah. Because I did it at 3. I turned my packet in at 3 years. I was because the reason why I did it at 3 years because I was gambling on. I was kind of riding the. I'm not. I'm not proud to say this, but because of what happened with Robbie, I kind of thought I had a
Yeah.
shoe in. I was like, oh yeah, I was in this big firefight, and you know, I got some pretty good NCOs under my NCOERs
Yeah.
evaluations under my belt. Yeah, they should accept me. And the CW4, the chief warrant officer 4, said to me, he goes, "Not this year." And
Oh,
then, but the next year, because had I done it that at that time period, I didn't have enough experience, but had I done it at that time period, uh, I would have gotten out at 20 as a
mhm.
CW3.
Yeah.
But if I had gone past, because advancing in rank is all about timing.
Yep.
So by the time uh, I got accepted, it would have pushed me into 2024, and I wanted to get out of 2020, so
Oh,
I
okay.
passed up on the
What's
opportunity.
the
Kind of,
highest DW or chief warrant officer in SF? Is it because you said a 4? It's like, do they
yeah,
go all the way up?
CW5,
There is a 5
CW5.
in there? Oh wow, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know that. Oh shit, I
yep,
didn't even know it was
yeah.
one that high. I thought
They're
that was
they're got
mostly in the other world, big
yeah
army.
Yeah, up at staff. They sit next
Of
to the
course.
sergeant, in
Okay.
between the sergeant major. So they're sitting there sandwiched right in between the sergeant major and
Sandwich. Yeah.
yeah,
All
but
right.
sergeant majors are uh, they're useless in SF. And I hate to say that. I mean, they are.
I mean, if you talk to
They're
Jimmy, he'll tell you they're useless everywhere, which is hard to
they're
argue sometimes.
yeah. They're about as useful as nipples on a man. So
That's a
but
valid question. You know what? I want you to come back. We'll have a big long discussion on why do men have nipples?
because God has nipples.
Yes, or at least he just gave them to us to make us feel like we're idiots sometimes. Like,
No, man.
what are you
No,
doing? This
man.
doesn't do anything for me. What do we what?
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I
let's wrap
mean,
this up. Let's go back real quick. We're gonna end on a negative note. Well, we'll switch it to a positive note, but
yeah.
we didn't talk about the negative, right? So what's what from your perspective? Like we've seen a ton of it. The negative reaction to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and just kind of like what we've seen,
I think
and where do you think we're going at this point?
well, a bunch of bad things have to happen in order for good things to exist, right? I'm, and this is for another discussion. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe the devil exists. Um, but
Say that again. You don't believe the devil exists?
yeah, I really don't. And that's for a discussion for another time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But I
Because
think
you do
bad
come from
things.
things said as a different perspective. So no, I
Yeah, yeah.
respect where you're coming from.
It's just a perspective,
Yeah.
and it's not to excuse away evil or anything like that. It's just something else to think about because without bad, we don't know what good is, right?
Mhm.
So, but I just leave it at that. But anyway, uh, I negatively I don't see anything negative about other than losing Charlie. I don't see there being a negative, but I do see that negative things will happen if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like there's going to be another school shooting. I feel like there's going to be um, more attacks on conservatives. I don't think conservatives. I think conservatives are going to take the high road, the high Christian road, and um, and not fight back, feed into it, which I think is a good thing, but also a bad thing because something bad's going to happen to a good Christian because they decided to be Christian like
Yeah,
in
we're gonna have
a
to talk again for sure, Javi.
yeah yeah yeah
I need to get
um
you, me, and Clay on at the same time and then have this
yeah.
conversation.
Oh, dude, that's oh my gosh.
I can
I
do
don't
it
even
if
know.
you guys
I
want to do
don't. I don't know how that we going to navigate that because I'm in the middle of reading his book,
it. Okay, we'll finish
Barbarian
it.
Spirit.
You
Yeah, I
once
got
you
to
finish
finish
it,
it.
let me know because Clay's always like I already talked to. I reached out to him about some clarification I needed myself on some things he says, and I got the answer, which I makes sense. But yeah, I already
Yeah,
told him like, hey, I want to get you on soon, and he's like, so if you need to finish the book, and then let's get the three of
yeah.
them on because that might
I
be
I I,
that would be
I got to
awesome.
finish it because
Okay, that'd be great.
but I we got to figure out a way to fight evil
Yeah.
and be on the right side of it. And
Well,
I don't know what that looks like.
I think Clay's got some thoughts. I have some thoughts. I think sometimes to defeat evil is you got to play evil's game.
Yeah,
You can't. It can't just all be. I mean, look. Just go look at their history, bro. Look at the
yeah,
Crusades. Look at any of it. Like
dude, I'm a
you,
100%. I'm 100% on with that. But
yeah. And you're an
everything,
LDS guy.
yeah.
That's what I like.
I
That's what
I
it's still at the end of the day. It's Christ.
and at there's a story in the Book of Mormon where uh, Captain Moroni, he's a character in the Book of Mormon. He talks, and he's faced up against evil, and to
The
rally
real
the
person.
troops, yeah,
Okay.
and he sits there and he takes off his he creates a banner and on it he writes for for your for God, for God, for your family, and for your people, right?
Hmm.
And he rallies
What more do you
people
need?
into, you know,
What more do you need, man? And like,
but it came at a cost. It came at a cost, you know,
it
and
has to.
so
It has to come at a
and
cost. That's the point. It has
and
to.
and, and this is what I'm torn with because I just turned 50, right? I don't have grandchildren,
Hmm. Well, not yet.
and
Not yet.
think, and I want you to think about this when your daughter gets married. Do you want, and hear me out on this, do you want to see your grandchildren and see, play with them and look forward to their life, or do you want to be a memory to your grandchildren and never seen them,
Yep.
and that's where
Yeah.
I'm torn right now because
So,
I'm all about putting on the kit and
well, I know you are,
and
and and
and
and I'm with you. But here's where while I still can, and while I still can is like I look at my father. My dad's 76.
yeah,
He's got his issues right now, but he still has the mentality of a 21-year-old. Like every time my
yeah,
brother and I talk in our chat specifically without our mom, the stuff I know he's trying to do, I'm like, Dad, like what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, but that's he's always going to be that way because like
yeah,
that's what I grew up with. Like the hardest
yeah,
motherfucker you ever seen is my father. And he still has that mentality as a 76-year-old, but he can't go do this with us, Javi.
yeah,
Right. And so
yeah,
whatever's going on, I don't know. Like we're in a weird time, I think. Like I'm sure we're not the first time. I don't know if this is that time that Clay is talking about. All I want and all I ask is if it is, please let it be now to where I am
rather than
still of
later.
use to the Lord. Because that's all, like, I don't want to
Yeah,
be, I hate to say it, I don't want to be my dad where it's just like, I got to sit on a fucking roof and shoot until I'm killed. Like, I want to be
yeah,
able to do something. Just like you at 50, like,
yeah,
you can go do something. My dad can't. He's 76. He could fucking go down the steps and have a heart attack. Like,
yeah.
I want it to be now, Javi. And like you're right. I
And,
wish I was 25. I'm not. I'm
and
44. You know, I got my daughter. I don't know if she's
yeah,
going to have those kids like you said, but I don't know
yeah.
what you just proposed. All I know is if it's now and if Christ can use me, do it. That's it. Just do it.
I think the time now is for us to, while we have the reach that we have on social media, is to do that, and that's what I want to do. I want to try to win people over first without
Yeah.
without the bloodshed, and then if it comes to blows, and my wife she's already said, my wife is the, come back on your shield or come back carrying it, one or the
Yeah,
other.
your wife knows you, but and I know your
Yeah,
comments that you've made recently in our chat, but also like
yeah,
I would encourage people to listen to men like yourself because like I already
yeah,
laid out about an hour ago, like 99.9% aren't doing what you did, man, and that's
yeah.
it's fucking cool.
I would, dude.
We're just not talking to random people. I'm talking fucking Javier Mackey of Mackey Industries. What up? What up, dog?
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, dude, I'm glad we're in our chat group because a lot of our guys in our chat group have reach.
Oh yeah,
And
oh yeah.
if we can talk a
Got a
peaceful
million plus
solution.
followers in that group, man.
Yeah.
You had it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
If
powerful group, and Nick jokes about it sometimes, but that's a powerful group, man. We're
yeah.
just not using
And
it. We're not using it really. Not yet, at least. Not yet.
we we got the means and we got people in the
Oh
right
yes,
places. We got
absolutely.
people in the right place. If and like I said in the chat group the other day, dude, put me in now.
Oh, I
Put me in
know.
now while I can.
I know.
And if
That's goes back to what I
I'm
said. I know it, and I know.
um,
I hope Joe's responding to you.
I haven't heard anything yet, but we'll see. He knows it's there.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know he does.
Yeah.
Joe's still there. Like everyone thinks like he's not. He's looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's there, man. All right, brother. I appreciate you
All right,
spending
man.
your afternoon and early evening with me. Here's what I'm going to go do. I don't know about you. I'm going to go hit Costco before they close. That's how my day's got to finish up. Um,
I'm gonna go make some. I'm gonna read up on making some sourdough starter and start putting
You
the.
read that, and as soon as I hit stop recording, I'm going to send you George Washington's recipe on the eggnog. That's what I need to get
Amen.
after this
Yeah,
winter.
man.
All right.
Yeah,
I appreciate you again, though. But yeah, let's do this again. Let me reach out to Clay. Finish reading that book, and then let's do this.
yeah, 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 man.
All right, brother.
All right, all right. Holler at you later.
All right, bud.